step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning. Here we go with your Thursday morning. So good to be with you. Welcome to it. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. Can you feel it? That World Cup kind of energy in the air. Okay, opening ceremony taking place today. Oh, man.
The day is finally here. We've been counting down for how long already?
Oh man, I cannot wait. I'm sorry to all the significant others out there, but football is going to dominate. Some great coverage right here on SABC as well. So we're going to keep you up to speed. A lot of sports on the show this morning. We're talking Cape Town Marathon. We've also got the one, the only, the legend, the man who's making all the surfer boys on set blush today. It's Geordie Smith. He's here ahead of the Geordie Smith Cape Town Surf Pro. We're going to get the load on how his season is going, but on this stellar competition as well. Then it's the World Cup and everyone's getting involved. So we're going to find out what your picks are, your favorite teams.
Who we will be supporting.
Yeah, man, you've got to pick a team. And I know Bafana's not in it, but we can still be emotionally invested.
Absolutely.
We can. We definitely should. And what's a Thursday morning without some music? Well, the emotive soul rock and roll band from Cape Town, Southern Wild, they join us this morning and they're going to be
welcome.
Yes. Good morning,
Wednesday. In fact, your Thursday is on the right note.
Absolutely on the right note.
Don't take us back, man. Don't take us back. It's been a long week.
Absolutely. And of course, we cater for all tastes on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Some parenting heading your way as well. And a big one, how to survive the first couple of days with a newborn. Yes. Something that I think Kat should take note of.
Yeah.
It's just around the corner for him.
He's busy mentally preparing himself right now. Can you be prepared? I don't know. Just take a deep breath, man. Oh, it's going to be a fantastic show. Thank you so much to you for joining us. Let's now reconnect with our gorgeous Lily, who's got those news headlines. Lee?
Good morning, Graham. Good morning, team, and good morning to you at home. In the national news this morning, Eskom CEO Phakamani Radebe has appealed to all employees to return to work as the company continues to navigate through a difficult financial time. He has held a briefing at Megawatt Park ahead of today's one-day strike by the National Union of Mine Workers and the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa. The unions have called a strike following the utilities announcement that salaries will not be hiked this year and claim workers are being made to pay for what they call Eskom's self-imposed financial crisis. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister William Mkhize yesterday announced that the national state of disaster over drought had lapsed and would not be renewed, but the Western Cape remains a provincial disaster. The national state of disaster was declared in March following concern over drought, which was affecting most parts of South Africa. Mkhize said the declaration had led to various interventions being initiated by different spheres of government, expediting procurement processes. 433.5 million rand was accessed from the respective disaster grants to implement the augmentation and other immediate relief projects. Now moving further abroad, Britain advised citizens against traveling to an area in northeastern Mozambique after a series of attacks by groups with links to Islamic militants. At least 17 people have been killed, 10 of them beheaded since May in the town of Palma, near the Tanzanian border. Palma is near one of the world's biggest untapped offshore gas fields, and petroleum companies are seeking to raise some $15 billion for a liquefied natural gas project in the region. And then finally, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has pledged to deliver a national apology to the survivors, victims and families of institutional child sexual abuse. He says his government has so far accepted 104 of the 122 recommendations made by the Royal Commission. The upcoming apology was sparked by a 5-year inquiry into child sexual abuse. The apology will be on October the 22nd, coinciding with the National Children's Week. More than 8,000 cases of sexual misconduct, largely committed at religious and state-run institutions responsible for the safety of children, have been committed in Australia. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Understandably, football dominating at the moment, but let's throw it way forward. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico after their joint bid won the right to host the tournament yesterday. The United States 2026 bid beat the bid from Morocco after FIFA member nations voted in favor of the joint bid by 134 points to 65. So while 2026 will be a joint World Cup, Mexico already hosted that showpiece in 1970 and 1986, while the United States, of course, held the World Cup back in 1994. Now let's bring it back to the here and now. The 2018 Soccer World Cup kicks off today as host Russia face Saudi Arabia at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Today's match will be the first official meeting between the two nations who haven't had the best run-up through their friendlies. But it's Saudi Arabia who have the better current form with 2 wins in their last 5 games, while Russia have 2 draws. That match kicks off at 5 o'clock South African time, and you can catch all the action live on SABC1. Then on to international athletics. The Athletics South African Association, they've announced a squad of 39 athletes for the inaugural 8-Nation Athletics World Cup in London. Our 400-meter record holder Wade van Niekerk is obviously still out through injury. The South African lineup is very strong, led by the likes of Caster Semenya, Akani Simbine, and Sunette Viljoen. The Athletics World Cup will take place at the London Stadium from the 14th to the 15th of July. And lest we forget, it's also a massive day in golf. The 118th edition of the US Open gets underway today at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in New York with 6 South Africans in the field. Former world number 1 and 2-time US Open champion Ernie Els takes to the course 21 years after his second US Open victory. And his tee-off is later this evening at 36 minutes past 7. And that's, of course, South African time. Elsewhere, world number 33 ranked Brendan Grace. He tees off at 20-2, while Charles Schwartzel gets underway just a few minutes later at 1:51. We'll have more on all of those stories throughout the morning.
Right, it's just after 6 o'clock. Let's quickly take a look at your weather and your temperatures. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect mild to warm temperatures going into your Thursday. However, for the southwestern region, you can expect cooler temperatures and some rain, as we can currently feel that cold front making its way into the Western Cape. Hopefully bringing it with it some good rain as well for our Western Cape dam levels. Your temperatures quickly, Polokwane starting off on a 6 minimum with a maximum 21 degrees. Mbombela 9 and a maximum 27, nice and hot. Pretoria 6:18. Johannesburg 5:17, Mahikeng on 5 minimum, reaching a warmer 22, Klerksdorp 7:20, Kimberley on 3 degrees minimum, nice and cold but warming up to 22 degrees. Bloemfontein on the cool side of things this morning, 0 this morning is your minimum with a maximum 19, Richards Bay 12 and 26, Pietermaritzburg 8-24, Durban 16-24, Mthatha on a 7 minimum with a maximum of 24 degrees. East London very hot today, starting off on 14, reaching a high of 30. Cradock 10-24, Port Elizabeth 13-28, George 13-25. Sutherland 4 minimum with a maximum 13, Cape Town 13 and 17, and rain expected, and some rain in Worcester as well with a minimum of 10, reaching a high of 14. Springbok 10-15 and Uppington on 6 minimum, reaching a mild maximum of 25 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures. We'll keep you updated throughout the course of your Thursday. I'll be back just after 6:30 with another update.
Well, we live in a world that is constantly changing and life is just getting so much faster by the day. So let's welcome today, the 14th of June, and what a day it is. And we're going to take a look at what happened in history on this day.
Well, a very important one in the world, in the medical world. In 2012, the world's first STEM-assisted vein transplant was undertaken by a Swedish doctor on a 10-year-old.
Wow, amazing stuff. And then in 1999, the South African Parliament elected Thabo Mbeki to succeed President Nelson Mandela as the new president of South Africa.
And in the world of sport, on this day in 2006, Madalitso Mutia made history when he became the first Zambian golfer to play in the prestigious US Open golf tournament.
Well, there you go. That is our bite-sized dose of what happened on this day in history. So seize the day and make it one for the books.
Yes, indeed. It is. I'm buzzing. The World Cup is here. Finally, it just feels like it takes far too long. It's like 10 years between each World Cup.
Believe it.
So we're getting really excited about that. Likewise, if you're a surfer, and like many of the surfers on set, you are buzzing this morning. Why? Because the man, the legend himself, Geordie Smith, is here. He's going to be talking about the Geordie Smith Cape Town Pro. Great to connect with such an awesome guy, man.
Absolutely. And as we're gearing up for this weekend, of course, it's Youth Day on Saturday, the 16th, but it's also the Cape Town International Day of Yoga. And we have a yoga instructor, Joel Sleebos, with us to show us a couple of moves, or show Zoe a couple of moves at that. We'll be back after the break.
Only you can make my day.
Just give me a second. Okay, we do on 9-7. Sorry, like that.
Hallelujah to those heartless times when they came and took you and fooled you. You thought time was on your side, but then she came and schooled you, yeah. I picked you up from the station at 6. I noticed something in your eyes. As much as I wish things were different, dear, I just don't think they hear our cries. Billions of people with cool. Yeah.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Let's head to the socials for our first post of the morning. Everybody's high-fiving all around. Now, it is World Blood Donor Day, and the SANBS current blood stock level is only enough for 3.3 days. Will you be donating? That's what we want to know from you. Nathan says, yes, but I'm underage. I really like helping someone who is in need. Thank you so much, Nathan. You're a star. Also, hashtag World Blood Donor Day. Good morning, Expresso fam. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bongin Corsi says, of course. Amelia says, I wish I could. And then Ramakone says, truly, I'm scared of needles. So donating, I can't do. Oh, come on, you can do it. Needles are not that scary. And then Carmen Wolfart saying, yes, yes, and yes again. So let us know, will you be donating as it is World Blood Donor Day?
Come on, man, they give you biscuits and oros. It's awesome, man. Go and donate blood. Now, we know the stocks are low. We need it. So now let's turn our attention to, I think, one of the coolest surf competitions on the local calendar. The best in South African surfing will be on display this weekend as the Geordie Smith Cape Town Surf Pro takes place on the West Coast at Big Bay, Cape Town. Mix of top international talent and, of course, up-and-coming local surfers. They're going to come out to play in front of a buzzing local crowd. It makes us feel like summer is here all over again. Let's chat a little bit about it. Well, there is only one man we could talk to. That's Geordie Smith. Geordie, welcome back, dude.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
So good to have you. I know this is like a whistle-stop tour for you, bro. It's a big year for you, a competitive year. Give us a bit of background. The 2018 Geordie Smith Cape Town Surf Pro, an opportunity for, I'm sure when you take yourself back to those early days, for young surfers to make a name for themselves. But this is a pretty competitive field when we look at it. How are you feeling about this year's comp?
Yeah, to be honest, it's mixed emotions. Obviously, very happy and excited to be able to give back and just give the local talent and the South Africans an opportunity to be able to get some great points and qualify to be on the big stages. But then I guess because in the past we've had such great waves and such great conditions, a lot of the international surfers have come out for it, and so. It's a bit tough. It's very tough. I really hope a South African can take it out and take away all the money and the points.
Dude, you are obviously your focus has to be kind of tunnel vision at the moment. The World Tour going really well now, 8th on the log after 2 brilliant performances. Well done in Bali. Every surfer on set, I was joking with you earlier, has come to me like, tell him, well done for Bali, man. How are you feeling? What's the mindset at this stage? Is number one there? Is that the goal? How are you feeling, man?
To be honest, I feel really good. Probably at this point in the year, I feel better than I've ever felt in any year. Sitting 8th is not the best, but just coming off some two really good results, there's a lot of confidence. So I'm just going to go down to J Bay. That's obviously our next event, and just try and practice as much as I can down there. Luckily, I'll be in front of my friends and family and a home crowd, and I'll put on the best performance I can.
How much do you miss the home crowd now, based in California, and obviously a global citizen traveling the world as much as you are? How cool is it coming back and surfing in front of the hometown?
It's the best feeling in the world, to be honest. Just to be in front of, like I said, your friends and family and everyone that you've grown up in front of is a really special feeling. And anytime I win at home, I don't feel like I just win it for me. I win it for everyone, and everyone that's a part of South African surfing, and everyone that supports me.
You're a seasoned campaigner now, and I know you've gone through this life cycle so many times. How do you prepare yourself for the second half or the latter stages of a season like this? Do you take it competition by competition, or has it now reached that point now where you know, okay, I need to get semis, I need to get, how do you mentally prepare yourself? Because you're also one of the freest surfers on the circuit, and it just feels like you're kind of freestyling when you go out there, but I know that's not the case. Yeah,
look, I think there's a time and place for everything. You've just really got to separate, you got to separate your free surf trips from the competition, and when you're there for the event, you just got to be 100% in the mindset of like, I'm there to win, and that's all I'm there for. And it's at times it kind of sucks because you get to go to these beautiful locations and you want to go and check them out, but at the same time you are there for a job, and you've got to come away with the W's.
And you're also there with all your mates as well.
Yeah.
You guys, you've lived together, you've toured together for so long. Geordie, thank you so much, first of all, for the Cape Town Pro. I know a lot of young surfers desperate to emulate what you've done. But most importantly, well done this year, dude, and go and seal the deal.
Thanks so much.
Seal the deal, bro. We look forward to having you back for the J-Bay Open. But go and support some local talent. They're going to need it against a very tough field in the Geordie Smith Cape Town Pro.
Well, listen, it is International Day of Yoga, and I'm about to invite Joelle Sleeboth into the camera right over here as we are about to demonstrate a very fun yoga session ahead of Cape Town's International Yoga Day that's taking place at the Cape Town International Convention Center. Joelle, great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. What can people expect this coming weekend at the Cape Town Day of Yoga?
So International Day of Yoga is all about providing yoga to people that normally maybe don't have access. It's going to be a huge session with hopefully around 1,000 people to 1,500 people attending. We'll have a lovely yoga market, around 24 stands, providing us with beautiful yoga products, food, and all of that.
Oh.
It's going to be a wonderful celebration.
It sounds amazing. So you're going to take us through a little something that our viewers at home can also enjoy to do at home.
Yeah.
So where do we start?
So you bring your feet together at the top of the mat, and then obviously yoga is all about breath. So we start with a deep inhale, and you bring your arms up. And then when you exhale, you bend your knees and you slowly bow forward, you relax your head. Another inhale, lift your chest, your hands can come to your shins, and you create a nice flat back, nice Zoe. And then you bring the hands flat to the floor and you step back into plank pose. We'll take a nice and easy version so everyone can join us in this one. Take a breath in again, spread your fingers, and then you try to bring your chest to the floor, and your belly will be the last thing to come to the floor. Very good. Hands can slide a little bit backwards, and then you lift your chest slightly and you activate the back body. Point your toes and come back down on the exhale. Tuck your toes under, press yourself up. You can stay on the knees, and then press the bum up towards what we call downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, your hands are shoulder width apart, your feet are hip width apart, and then you can take 3 more breaths here. So a slow breath into the nose, and a slow breath out of the nose. You can do that 2 more times, nice and slow. You can even close your eyes if that feels nice and really feel your body. And then you look forward, you take 1 foot forward, take a step, and then let the other foot follow to the top of your mat. Let your big toes touch again, very nice. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the spine. Forward fold, exhale, relax. Rise all the way up, arms come up, inhale. And then hands to the heart center, exhale. And that would be a full sun salutation A.
Oh, thank you so much, Joelle, for showing us.
Pleasure.
Well, she's going to be back a little bit later, and we want to find out, for those who want to go to the Cape Town International Convention Center this coming Saturday, the 16th of June, do they need to register beforehand? Is there a fee involved?
Yeah, it's a free event. Okay. But we ask for a donation for our charity or child's project, and we're raising money for them.
Well,
so they do need to go and get a ticket either on my website or on Quicket.
Okay, well, there you have it. Your website address is
www.joelslebos, JoelSlebos.com.
Well, there you have it. As this coming Saturday, South Africans will be uniting for a yoga-filled day.
So we know that in today's fast-paced society, you don't have much time to make a good first impression, and that's all that matters. So we've got, of course, the Southern Wild in studio. David, MJ, Alex, and Dylan. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Looking so sweet on the couch. Look at the harmony in the band, hey? But we know you're rock stars, and we know you lead these rock star lives, so it's time for our viewers to get to know you guys with the game of rapid fire. I want absolute honesty, and I need speed. So we're going to go 1, 1, 1 all the way down the line, and just keep rotating. All right, cool. Guys, we've got like 41 questions to do in 60 seconds. Are you up for it? Don't spill your coffee. Are you up for it?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, come on. All right, David, let's start with you in 3, 2, 1. Let's rock and roll. If you had a time machine, where would you travel, past or future?
Future.
Beach getaway or wild retreat?
Wild retreat.
Iron Man or Captain America?
Oh, Iron Man.
I like that. Chocolate and vanilla.
Chocolate.
Boom.
Sure.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Incubus or Metallica?
Incubus.
Oh. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Wow. Movies or books?
Movies.
Kendall Jenner or Kylie Jenner?
None of them.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
The last album you bought?
It's probably the Incubus album, actually. This one.
Morning person or night owl?
Definitely morning person.
Really? Well done, man. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise?
Definitely Brad Pitt.
Bacon or Nutella? It's tough.
Both together.
Yeah, man. Who's the last person you texted?
My wife.
Okay, thankfully. Favorite sport? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Thank you for saying that on this show. Guys, you did really, really well there. We got more than halfway, which is saying a lot.
Great.
It looked like you guys were learning things about each other through that.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I was quite surprised. Yeah, salty, sweet. What's he talking about? MJ, nice one.
You for a Kylie Jenner for sure, man. I just don't get it, man. Guys, welcome back. Obviously, we are going to let you do what you do best, and that's rock out. You've been doing it on a whole different level. Debut album. Yeah. The last time we had you here, we were blown away by how slick the production was. I would imagine life is even better now. How are you feeling that you've released this brand new little baby into the world? How's the album going?
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, it's been out for quite some time now, so it's, as you said, it's into the world and it's growing. But yeah, I mean, we've had a very successful year. We opened for Incubus in both their shows on their South African tour. So that was pretty insane for us. We also got to play Kirstenbosch Gardens for the first time earlier this year, which was insane. And yeah, I mean, right now we gearing up for Opi Kopi in August, and obviously the After Dark show at the end of this month.
Does it feel like you guys are like made it now? Because this is pretty
it takes time.
Can you check in the bank account? Not really.
That's
honestly not.
It's never going to get better. We know the company makes all the money. I mean, opening for a band like Incubus, maybe MJ, I can put this to you. How do you even start a process? Like, do you audition? Do they approach you? How does it work?
Well, yeah, people know each other and they speaking, so someone might put us forward as a suggestion and then other people will have a listen and then they'll pick. So we were lucky enough to get the opportunity. I mean, it's actually David's absolute favorite band in the world. So it was quite a day.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
God, dude. I remember like before the show week, I couldn't like close my fists, and now I have to go and play guitar in front of like 10,000 people.
The mouth is dry.
Oh man! And the first one was hectic, and then the second one was like a breeze in Cape Town, because after you had got over that hurdle, it's like, because we've never played in front of that many people, obviously, and I mean it's one of the biggest bands in the world. So.
Oh, dude! And now that you got a taste for it, boys.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
only onward.
Now we've got that taste. We just want more.
Other promoters, any other internationals coming out? We're more than willing to play. Open.
This is only his favorite band. There are loads of other favorite bands. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to give our viewers a beautiful taste of some of the new music, some of the favorites. But congratulations, guys! It's been a stellar year, and it's only getting better.
Thanks.
A moment of with a new McAfee white mocha.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. Let's run you through those news headlines. It's your Thursday morning. In your national news, Eskom CEO Phakamani Hadebe has appealed to all employees to return to work as the companies continue to navigate through a difficult financial time. A strike was called after Eskom's announcement that salaries will not be hiked this year. And Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday announced that the national state of disaster over drought had lapsed and would not be renewed. The Western Cape, however, remains a provincial disaster. In your international news headlines, Britain advised citizens on Tuesday night travelling to an area in northeastern Mozambique after a series of attacks by groups with links to Islamic militants. At least 17 people have been killed. 10 of them were beheaded since May in the town of Palma near the Tanzanian border. And lastly, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has pledged to deliver a national apology to the survivors, victims and families of institutional child sexual abuse. More than 8,000 cases of sexual misconduct, largely committed at religious and state-run institutions responsible for the safety of children, have been committed in Australia. That's a quick look at those news headlines. We will expand on those at the top of the hour.
Just skimming over those major sporting headlines this morning in football, the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico. That was after their joint bid won the right to host the tournament yesterday. Then bringing it back to the here and now, the 2018 edition of the Soccer World Cup kicks off today as hosts Russia face off against Saudi Arabia for the first time. That's at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Kickoff for that, 5 o'clock. And of course, you can catch all of the action live on SABC1. Then in athletics South Africa have announced a squad of 39 athletes for next month's stellar inaugural 8-Nation Athletics World Cup in London. It sees the likes of Caster Semenya and Akane Simbine in action. And of course, in golf, a big day as well. The 118th edition of the US Open gets underway today at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in New York. And 6 South Africans in that field. Will expand on all of that on the top of the hour. Stay tuned to the next half hour. We're going to be talking about the Cape Town Marathon. We've got some stellar lineup in studio as well for that as well.
Well, let's take a first look at the roads in the Western Cape and Goodwood. It's sluggish on the N1 inbound, so expect delays between McIntyre Street and Jakes Gerwel Drive. I'll have another update for you in half an hour.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Taking a quick look at your weather and those temperatures. Once again, it's Thursday morning. It looks like most parts of the country can expect mild to warm temperatures. However, for the southwestern region, cooler temperatures and some rain expected as that cold front is busy moving in over the Western Cape. Polokwane this morning, 6 minimum with a maximum of 21 degrees. Mbombela, nice and warm today, 9 minimum, maximum 27. Pretoria, 6 and a high, 28. Johannesburg, 5:17. Mahikeng, 5:22. Klerksdorp on 7 minimum, reaching a high of 20. Kimberley, 3 and a high of 22. Bloemfontein 0 this morning, nice and cold, staying cool with a maximum 19. Richards Bay on 12, reaching a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg 8:24. Durban 16:24. Mthatha on 7, also reaching a maximum 24 degrees. Nice and hot in East London today, starting off on 14, real maximum 30. Cradock 10:24. Port Elizabeth 13:28. George 13:25. Sutherland 4 minimum, reaching a high of 13. Cape Town 13 and a high of 17 with rain expected, and some rain in Worcester with a minimum of 10, staying cool with maximum 14. Springbok 10:15 with some scattered showers expected as well, and Uppington on 6 minimum, your maximum 25 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures for the 6:30 bulletin. We'll have another update for you heading your way just after 7.
You can see a little bit earlier this morning, I was getting so excited I got completely tongue-tied because we really do have some superstars in studio this morning. Why? Because it's time for South African marathon runners to get excited. Today officially marks the 100-day countdown to the 2018 edition of the Cape Town Marathon as an IAAF gold label status race, which is massive. The Cape Town Marathon brings together some of the world's best marathon runners to take on the roads of the mother city. What a beautiful route. And as we look ahead to this year's marathon, we are joined this morning by race director Janet Wellham, as well as local marathon superstar Stephen Mokoka and Elana Meyer. Guys, welcome to the show. Stephen, you're looking at me with these eyes like you're about to start the race, like it's there. You've got 100 days. days, man. Just keep it calm. Now, this is something to get excited about. Janet, for you most of all, because so much goes into this, how important is that gold status? Talk us through why this is such a massive race on the international calendar, never mind just SA.
Absolutely. Well, the importance of gold is just so important to us. Our dream has always been to become the African major. That is a dream, and certainly the first step, as we have always indicated, was gold. So gold label status is imperative. Africa's only gold label status marathon. It's just phenomenal. We really are excited.
And it is one of the most beautiful runs to do, I think. But as someone who's been in that competitive field, this is a job for you. It's not about like the weekend warriors out there having these wonderful milestones in their lives. Having that gold label status for someone who is competing internationally, have it ratified by the IAAF, this is massive, Ilana.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of hard work going into the marathon. I always say, it's a lot easier being the athlete pitching up and run. It's an exceptional privilege for us to host. Wearing specifically gold today.
Popping in that gold, lady.
It's a gold label event, 100 Ks to go. Really excited.
Stephen, I mean, this must feel like a happy hunting ground for you. What are you expecting from the Cape Town Marathon this year? It is going to be an incredibly competitive field. How excited are you about the event?
Firstly, thanks for having me. Secondly, thanks to Elana for inviting me. I'm very excited, actually. Most of the time we always run overseas. Then you have to travel far. You get different time zones when you get there, but now I have to do it at home. So I'm very excited. My family will be able to watch me on TV, my friends, my supporters. I believe even here in Cape Town, I've got like young boys who always look up to me. So it will be a great opportunity for them to watch me. So I'm very excited.
I mean, if I still get this excited to meet Ilana, because I've seen you do some amazing things. You can imagine the power of a young athlete actually being able to go out there. But I've got to ask, how are you feeling? 100 days to go. Where's your headspace at? Are you going to win it?
For me, I'm sitting with Ilana. We actually have to sit down, and if you get good pacemakers, because the most important thing is for us to run a good time. So if they can arrange good pacemakers, I believe, marathon is a very long journey. You have to run like 2 hours. So if you get good pacemakers, you get good times. So in a marathon, I always advise people that you compete against the distance. Winning is a bonus. We always think about winning when you just pass 30 kilometers, because before 30 kilometers, everyone is still fresh. So for me, I'm excited.
Everyone's still fresh. Yeah. Get out, man. Just get out.
So if we get good pacemakers, the most important thing is for us is to run a good time. So which I'm excited. I hope they can get a good field for pacemaking, and then for me, I will be excited to go very hard.
Just say yes, buddy. Just say yes. I'm going to win it, man. Janet, where can we follow the build-up to the event, find out all of those details? It is a massive event on our calendar, and I think a lot of Cape Townians especially want to come and be that guy standing screaming on the sidelines.
For sure. Obviously, all our social media platforms, CT Marathon, Sanlam Cape Town Marathon website. Of course, that is a portal. But along the route, this year the route has changed. And we're going to be launching it in about 2 hours' time. But I can give you a preview in the sense that we are not going into Pardon Island this year. So for all those poor people that had to go in there last year, we've changed it and we're going beachfront running a lot of the way. Wow. So we've included a whole 6 kilometer worth of beachfront running. There's lots of spectator zones. In fact, there are 22, which we will be announcing later on this afternoon. And I'm hoping that Cape Town can come out and support us. Well. We're hoping that we can have the gees and showcase what South Africa can offer.
Come wind, come rain, come shine. We will be out there en masse. Thank you so much, guys. Stephen, Ilana, Janet, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back in a little bit closer to the event as well. But this really is a massive opportunity, I think, for a top field, yes, but a lot of marathon runners are out there to prove themselves against the best. Hopefully we've got those pace setters out for you, Stephen. We'll talk to some.
Thank you so much, G-Man. Time for us to do a little bit of Throwback Thursday. Here's an interesting quote. I am very young to have won the race, but I took a chance and I am the champion. That's what 23-year-old Sipho Ngumane commented after winning the Comrades Marathon 13 years ago. And today we're throwing it back to celebrate the talent of one of South Africa's best runners.
Well, Perhaps you didn't know this, but Sipho started running at the age of 16 after initially playing soccer.
Wow.
And Ngumane was the second youngest to win the 80th Comrades Marathon race after he ran down from Durban to Pietermaritzburg in a time of 5 hours, 27 minutes and 10 seconds.
Wow, levels. Now, did you know that the 23-year-old was robbed of everything, including his running shoes, just days before the 80th Comrades Marathon race? And Sipho is now listed on the Comrades records as a professional sportsman who ran just 3 minutes over what Bruce Fordyce did in 1986's record. So that's amazing. Wow.
Well,
what a champion, huh?
What a champion. Well, we would love to know, who is your favorite South African runner? Why don't you head on over to our social media pages? That's Facebook and Twitter, letting us know with that hashtag Throwback Thursday and hashtag Expresso Show.
All right, we're taking a very quick break. Hope you're enjoying this Thursday with us. Can you believe it, as we're edging ever closer to the weekend? And speaking about the weekend, of course, you can look forward to some great movies releasing. JP Sebastian, he's here. He's going to be giving us all his thoughts and hopefully his popcorns as well. And then we're also going to be hanging out with Joelle Steerbosch. He's been giving us a great yoga workout ahead of the Cape Town International Yoga Day that's taking place on the 16th. But she's going to show us in true Omar Rusk spirit how to dip Omar with her iconic yoga dip. That should be interesting. Stick around for that after the break.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
One, two, three, four, 1, 2.
Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. They say doing what you love is the reason you're alive. Oh, but I ain't stared into the sky since the day that I remember the world it breathes on lies. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. Oh, and I'm so happy I could die.
What do you think needs to?
Oh, but maybe vocal up slightly. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. They say doing what you love is the reason you're alive. Oh, but I ain't stared into the sky.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. You're just in time. That song means one thing. It's Mzansi Wood time. We get to find out what our local stars are up to.
Let me tell you, it wasn't too long ago that the news broke that Real Talk host Anele Mdoda would be stepping down as the host and, of course, give her time to focus on different career aspects. Now, with a media personality stepping down, it left a space for a new face, which has been announced as radio presenter, businesswoman, mother, and MC Azania Masmosaka.
She'll be great.
She'll be fantastic. Now, she actually stepped in front of the camera again to take on the role as the host when Anele went on leave, but she's going to be the official host for Real Talk on SABC3. Anele, of course, took a break, and Azania had the opportunity to rediscover her love for the medium of television and to make an impression on audiences. And man, did she make an impression. Yeah. She took on the show with such enthusiasm and grace that the producers and the channel saw it fitting to entrust the show to her. We are very happy to welcome her to the SABC3 family. Man. Absolutely amazing.
Great shows. I mean, I was shocked that Anele left at this stage in the kind of life cycle of the show because it was doing so well, but she is so lovely. She is such a wonderful person. I think this could be a new feather in the cap that could take her career to an even higher level.
And the thing is, when she stood in, it was because you usually feel a sense of like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But she was so amazing.
Yeah,
so calm. Well done. Also, celebrity chef Siba Mtongana and her husband Brian are having some well-deserved time out as they wait to welcome baby number 4.
Wow.
The couple
Wow,
recently jetted off for a holiday in Mauritius, and luckily for us, they shared some pictures of their breathtaking getaway. Siba announced that she's expecting their 4th child in an Instagram post 2 weeks ago, and she shared a picture of her and husband Brian at the Miss South Africa pageant where she was a judge. She says there are 3 of us in this picture, another princess awaiting to be crowned. She captioned the snap, and of course here are some snaps from their fun in the sun holiday, which is the concept for a baby moon to you, I think. You know? I love it. You gotta have a baby moon because when the baby arrives, there ain't no time.
You know, I'm feeling like I'm missed out because we work so much that the idea of a baby moon, I've always got like, what is that? But I'm now regretting that we didn't take a baby moon.
Exactly, but you've got catching up to do, hey G.
I will definitely take
3
a baby
more
moon.
to catch up with Siba.
I don't know. You want to stay tuned when we have our discussion a little bit later in the show about being a first-time parent when that baby just comes home, and then that'll put a lot in perspective. But that's our Mzansi news. Thank you so much, Lee. But now we're going to put you in the hot seat because, of course, tonight is Presenter Search on 7:30 right here on SABC3. And we're now moving into the business end, I think. We saw some hilarity throughout the auditions, but we also saw some brilliance shining through. After the callbacks, they've started to see the cream rise to the top. And of course, it moves into the mentoring phase now where we've taken the best from Cape Town and Port Elizabeth through to that mentoring phase. And you were a part of that.
Yes, I was a mentor. Like? And what we did was we invited the Cape Town contestants to come into studio to do what we do best on the show, cook. Now, what happens is, who is that cutie on the screen? What happens is, I think a lot of people watch us and they don't realize how difficult it is to cook and talk at the same time. There were some that stood out that were amazing, and then there were others where I was just like, woo, child, what are you doing? But I was pleasantly surprised.
I was about to ask you, without giving away too much, did some rise to the occasion?
You know what? There were those that I thought, wow. I literally was blown away. And then there were others that I was just like, please, quit now. Quit now.
Wow.
What is that thing? What is that one? We talk about the X factor all the time, but what is it in the context of Expresso that will make a person land this job?
You know what? I think it's bringing your personality to the table. At the end of the day, people don't want to see somebody that they've seen already. They don't want to see another Graham. They don't want to see another Leanne or Zoe or Kat.
Yeah.
And there was one person in particular when he walked. I just gave it away. When he walked on there, he brought so much of his personality. I literally just sat there, mouth on the floor. It was beautiful to watch. So you'll see it.
It's still early days. I know they're kind of really being put through their paces, but if they're making that kind of impression now,
exactly,
it means only one thing that you need to tune in tonight at 7:30 right here on SABC3. Presenter Search on 3. Hashtag Presenter Search on 3. Be found on 3. Join the conversation online. It gets hilarious, and people are posting some amazing memes and pictures and some sneak previews as well on all of our social media platforms. So plug in.
Join us this Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. as Presenter Search on 3 enters the Masterclass Workshop phase. PE and Cape Town contestants are put through their paces by industry mentors. Can they do interviews while skating on ice? Will they remain calm in an afternoon express takeover?
Sorry about that.
Find out this Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. on SABC3. Repeat Saturdays at 12 midday. The stage is yours.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe.
Presenter Search on 3. So just remember, it's got a new time slot this evening. It's 8:30 on SABC3, so make sure you tune in. Does that bring back memories for you, JP? Hey,
harrowing.
Presenter Search.
Traumatic memories.
Really?
I feel like I owe a lot of people apologies for putting my face on their TVs. This goof.
Is that an apology for right now as well? No?
I'm banking. I'm going to have to apologize like years from now.
We love you, man. We love you. Listen, let's get into some movies before we chat about some of the latest releases. Here's your box office top 5.
Spoiled for superheroes and space cowboys? Is there room for T-Rex? Here's SA's box office. Avengers Infinity War drops 3 to 5th in half the time of Black Panther. Dwarfed by Sherlock Gnomes, bouncing back 1 spot to 4th, impressive considering their height. Gabrielle Union dials it to 11 for some lukewarm cornball bad guys in predictable 3rd place thriller breaking in. Here's a spoiler too confusing to ruin it. Ryan Reynolds dies in Deadpool 2, but Deadpool doesn't. Kinda, sorta. 2nd place. And explore that second word already, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom frustratingly crams all claws, jaws and action in a mansion and the top spot.
I need to see Deadpool, and I need to see Jurassic World.
But you're a man who's beholden to the whims of little ones, right?
This is true, so I can't wait for Incredibles.
See, you've got like a hostage's eyes. Like, please, if I blink twice, please rescue me for a weekend.
This is true. Take me to some grown-up movies. This is fine. Listen, let's get into some movies releasing, man. The weekend is almost here. Super Troopers 2.
Yes, it's one of these cult comedies.
Yes.
So it not necessarily like makes the wide memorable sort of things like Anchorman. That sentence made no sense. So
no,
anyway.
I was like, what? I lost you, dude.
I'm gonna wake up in a second and get to it now. So Super Troopers is a sequel to, like I was saying, a cult comedy. It's I suppose in a way kind of like Anchorman in that it's completely stupid, completely buffoonish.
Yes,
which is nice for a change. Yes, and the story being that similar to Anchorman, there's this police department who competes with other police departments in a small backwater town, or lots of physical shenanigans like that going on. And in this story, it seems almost too appropriate. It's sort of like the writers were sitting around the table and they're like, what's the most harmless thing we can tell? What about a conflict between Canada and America? Which these days it doesn't seem to like fall off the map. So a disputed territory comes under question between Canada and America, and the American police have to take over this territory, and naturally they bump heads with the Canadian mounted police to comedic effect.
Okay,
something totally brainless.
I love it, very cool, man. Hereditary, that's our next one we're talking about.
Something a lot more cerebral, and part of, I suppose, the movement of what we're seeing now is, it's not I don't want to make it sound too snobbish, but like auteur horror, really stuff that's just considered frame by frame by frame, and it's going to be one of the best movies of this year.
Really?
I've seen it. It's for me one of the best movies of the year.
Sure.
A primer though, before I tell you what it's about, I want to say to everyone, like, you see a lot of this marketing where it seems like high-paced, sort of like constant horror, like it's going to be constantly scary or something like that. I warn you that it is a slow burner.
Okay.
And it's the kind of horror that's, constantly just trying to break away at your nervous system until the punch. And when the punch comes, you're not ready for it, you're blindsided, and you wish it was all over. I heard people in my audience calling out to their to their divine presence of, I was looking through the pantheon, like begging for different gods to help me. Like, people shouted at the screen, please, God, make it stop. Hereditary, it's really scary when the scary comes. Story about a family sort of like living through a curse and trauma in a way.
Is that a little bit of a scar that I see on you there?
There's a tiny tear I'm just shedding on the left side of my face. The camera's
emotional scarring that he's
the one eye.
Wow, dude, it sounds hectic, man. So
and Toni Collette's probably going to be nominated for it.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it's getting great reactions from reviewers. I've had night terrors for real.
Still, I think it's going to be a good movie if you're into your horrors, and maybe this is
something that
one.
can get under your skin for a change, and not just like they're the guts. It's like, who cares? Like it's like fast food horror. I'm done with. Give me that.
All right, so there we have it. Super Troopers 2 and Hereditary. That's what you can look forward to. But also Incredibles 2. Come on, man. We gotta love Mr. Incredible.
I'm not doing this justice at all.
But it's all right. We'll give you the suit a little bit later on, and then hopefully we'll give it some more popcorns as well. We found up on JP what that's all about.
One popcorn would make a difference for me.
Well, I have taken my shoes off because Joelle Sleebor's yoga instructor is still with us, and we're about to have some fun because here on Expresso, we love our coffees as much as we love our Oma rusks, and we would love to see how you dip a Oma. Now, you are also a host at Cape Town's International Day of Yoga that's taking place this coming Saturday. But we would love to see you do your craziest yoga pose. In fact, it's a challenge to do your craziest yoga pose whilst dipping an Oma. Do you think that's possible?
I probably have to stand on my head and do it with my feet, but I'll just try to do it while doing a dancer's pose.
Okay. So you're going to take your Oma right.
Let's dip away.
There we go.
Find some balance there.
Look at that. She's an absolute pro. Joelle dipping her Oma while in, what do you call that pose? The dancer's pose. Okay, well, I would love to give it a try. So I'm not as flexible as you. I'm not wearing my yoga pants.
Tree pose is a good option, yeah.
I'll get into this pose. Grab a buttermilk rusk right here and then give it a little bit of a dip. There we go, there we go. Oh, see, that's how we dip our Oma. Well, listen, we would love to see how you dip our Oma, so why don't you get yourself some coffee in the morning with your Oma rusk. Take a picture of how you dip a Oma and share it with us on Facebook and Twitter while I say that with a rusk in my mouth. Very glamorous. But Joelle's still hanging out with us a little bit later as we get into a second yoga session.
Cozy up this winter and dip a Oma.
You should try that, Greg.
It gets us every time. You've got something to say that you forget that you've got a mouthful of rice. Absolutely. You did make it look glamorous. Thank you, ladies. So we're going to take the quickest of breaks. When we return, I'm going to drag everyone into the World Cup madness. Now the fever is here. It kicks off tonight. We're going to find out what everyone's favorite team is in this showpiece.
And then he may look like Jon Snow, but he actually isn't. We've got Southern Wild in the studio.
Yes.
Dave looks amazing. And of course, they perform for us after the break. He really looks like...
It does.
When he's not bowling for hat tricks, he's being bowled over by a new baby boy. Catch cricketer Wayne Parnell in the Expresso studio this Friday as he takes on his new journey of fatherhood to baby Khalid.
That's because this Friday, it's all about the dads as we gear up for Father's Day.
Only on Expresso, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on SABC 3.
The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Okay, let's start up with drums. Quick line check. Thank you very much. Oh, this order is very hard, no? Just be careful. Cool. Okay, guys.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back and tune into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC 3. It's a fantastic Thursday. It's a great day. You can feel the energy. FIFA World Cup time. Can you believe it?
Yes.
We're going to talk about our favorite teams a little bit later on, ladies. I hope you're ready. But let's get into some funny, interesting and random things that we've stumbled across on social media. So I'll go with the first one, all right? We love walking our dogs. Dogs love to go for a little walk. But this one particular dog thought that, just walking is a bit boring and took it to another level. Check it out.
This way. Boy.
Oh, okay.
Apparently,
Wow.
he loves to jump
my
on
word.
hedges. Yeah. He just loves to jump on hedges.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
There he goes. Let's see.
We're gonna go for a walk.
Very easy. Oh, look, a hedge. Let's go.
wow.
Yes. What's over here?
That's a hedge dog.
That's a hedge dog.
Very, very cool.
Very cool.
Now, you know what? Sometimes at your midweek, you need a little bit of motivation. And this next video is of a child who shows us no matter how many times you fall, you must always get up. Let's see. Aww.
Oh, look, it's me when I was 7.
Keep going, honey. Yes. Okay. And...
Oh, got it. I'm standing.
Oh, guys, those not easy.
Those are not easy, though.
The rollerblades with the 4 in a row are easier than roller skates.
I had a pair of those, but those that you still strap to your actual shoe. And I figured out if I tie my mom's throw cushion on my bum, it was much better.
The blow.
I fell with grace, and it was amazing when I was a kid. Yeah.
Well, some of us have inbuilt cushioning, so there you go. We're good.
We quickly want to introduce you to Bella, and I'm not talking about our friendship, but look at this magnificent great white shark. And this picture was captured by Juan Olifant, who is part of a shark conservation initiative to capture images that really helps get people to look at sharks and great white sharks past what the media portray them to be.
Wow.
They're vicious.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's magnificent.
That's a great white shark.
That is a very great white. More power to you. More power to you. Magnificent, hey?
That moves you.
But I love the fact that we can look at it from here.
Yeah.
And we feel
Like,
like
I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it is, it's a great way to remove the stigma around these incredible creatures, man. Thank you very much, ladies.
There we go.
That's what's trending on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let us know which hashtag video story has caught your attention online, and feel free to share it with us on our Facebook page, also on Twitter, using that hashtag Expresso Show. But it is about time. Let's get some music going. Yes?
Yes.
Are we happy? Yes. Let's do it.
Yes, please. Can we get some music going? At Southern Wild SA is where you can find them on Instagram, but you don't have to do that right now because they are right here just for you. Their debut album, Lead Role in a Classic Horror, has now been streamed over 1 million times. Guys, well done. You're going to get a taste of them right now with Darkness at My Heels.
I never thought I could hurt this much. I never thought I'd feel such pain. That moment will never return again, when we had so much left to gain. I ran for hours in the pouring rain with that darkness at my heels. But it don't matter when the game is fixed and the glory's all the same. Hallelujah to those heartless times when they came and took you and fooled you. You thought time was on your side, but then she came and schooled you, yeah. She came and schooled you, yeah. I picked you up from the station at 6. I noticed something in your eyes. As much as I wish things were different, dear, I just don't think they hear our cries. Billions of people with the same heartaches, but only few that know our love. Well, I'm sick of wishing, sick of dreaming, babe, so let's just focus on the highs. Hallelujah to those heartless times when they came and took you and fooled you. You thought time was on your side, but then she came and schooled you, yeah. Hallelujah to those heartless times when they came and took you and fooled you. You thought time was on your side, but then she came and schooled you, yeah.
Oh, my word, man. Oh, dude, just take your microphone underneath that guitar strap. There we go, man. That was a little emotional, guys, won't lie. Dylan, I'm glad you brought the extra symbol. Now I understand why you were so proud of yourself this morning. Yeah, awesome stuff, dude. Give us a bit of background about that song. Where does that emotion come from?
Yeah, well, when I first moved to Cape Town, it was a big move for us. Things weren't going so well. And yeah, I mean, it was just a build-up of a lot of different things that made me write that song. But yeah, I suppose my wife would catch the train to town and back from Plumstead every day, and I was not working at the time, trying to do music full-time. It was about 4 years back. And yeah, I mean, that's that line, you know, like I picked you up from the station at 6, I noticed something in your eyes, that type of thing. Like, yeah, we were battling emotionally. It was a whole thing without getting too personal. But yeah, that's.
I know you took it there like 2 minutes ago. We were there. We were there with you, standing at the train station. That was absolutely beautiful. You guys are so unbelievably talented. It's just ridiculous, man.
Thank you.
Man, you deserve everything that is coming to you at the moment, man. Well
Thanks
done.
very much, bro.
Best part is we've got them for the whole morning. You can let us know what you thought about that performance at Expresso Show and at Southern Wild SA. Let them know what you thought of that performance. Hit them up on Instagram.
In the national news this morning, Eskom CEO Phakamani Radebe has appealed to all employees to return to work as the company continues to navigate through a difficult financial time. He's held a briefing at Megawatt Park ahead of today's one-day strike by the National Union of Mine Workers and the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa. The unions have called a strike following the utilities' announcement that salaries will not be hiked this year and claim workers are being made to pay for what they call Eskom's self-imposed financial crisis. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday announced that the national state of disaster over drought had lapsed and would not be renewed, but the Western Cape remains a provincial disaster. The national state of disaster was declared in March following concern over drought, which was affecting most parts of South Africa. Mkhize said the declaration had led to various interventions being initiated by different spheres of government, expediting procurement processes. 433.5 million rand was accessed from the respective disaster grants to implement the augmentation and other immediate relief projects. Now moving further abroad, Britain advised citizens against travelling to an area in northeastern Mozambique after a series of attacks by groups with links to Islamic militants. At least 17 people have been killed, 10 of them beheaded since May in the town of Palma near the Tanzanian border. Palma is near one of the world's biggest untapped offshore gas fields, and petroleum companies are seeking to raise some $15 billion for a liquefied natural gas project in the region. And then finally, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has pledged to deliver a national apology to the survivors, victims and families of institutional child sexual abuse. He says his government has so far accepted 104 of the 122 recommendations made by the Royal Commission. The upcoming apology was sparked by a 5-year inquiry into child sexual abuse. The apology will be on October the 22nd, coinciding with National Children's Week. More than 8,000 cases of sexual misconduct, largely committed by religious and state-run institutions responsible for the safety of children, have been committed in Australia. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
As the world gets gripped in FIFA World Cup madness, let's throw it way forward. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico. After their joint bid won the right to host the tournament yesterday, the United States 2026 bid beat the bid from Morocco after FIFA member nations voted in favor of the joint bid by 134 votes to 65. So while 2026 will be a joint World Cup, Mexico, of course, already hosted the showpiece back in 1970 and 86, while the United States held the World Cup in 1994. Now, bringing it back to the present, to today. In fact, the 2018 Soccer World Cup kicks off today as hosts Russia face Saudi Arabia at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Today's match is going to be the first official meeting between the two nations, but it's Saudi Arabia who've had the better current form with 2 wins in their last 5 games, while Russia have just 2 draws and losses. So the match kicks off at 5 o'clock South African time, and you can catch all of the action live on SABC1. Then on to athletics. ASA have announced a squad of 39 South African athletes for the inaugural 8-Nation Athletics World Cup in London, while 400-meter record holder Wade van Niekerk sadly is still out of action through injury. The South African lineup is very strong, led by the likes of Caster Semenya, Akani Simbine and Sunette Viljoen. The Athletics World Cup will take place at the London Stadium from the 14th to the 15th of July. It's going to be massive. And lest we forget, a very big day in the world of golf as well, as the 118th edition of the US Open gets underway today. That's at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in New York, and it has 6 South Africans in the field. Former world number 1 and 2-time US Open champion Ernie Els takes to the course 21 years after his second US Open victory. His tee-off is tonight at 7:36. That's South African time. Elsewhere, world number 33 ranked Brendan Grace. He tees off at 20-2 this afternoon, while Charles Schwartzel, he gets going just moments later at 51 minutes past 1. We're going to get more World Cup madness going on your Feel Good Breakfast show in just a moment, so stay tuned for that.
Well, let's take another look at the roads in Gauteng and Buccleuch. On the N1 southbound heading towards Buccleuch interchange, there's been an accident causing heavy delays from New Road, and in the Western Cape in Athlone, there's also been an accident on the N2 inbound, this time before Roberts Bukwe Road, with one lane currently blocked. So please approach with caution and allow for some extra travel time. That's where I leave your traffic for now.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Just a couple of minutes past 7 o'clock. Let's quickly take another look at your weather and your temperatures. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect mild to warm temperatures. However, for the southwestern region, cooler temperatures and some rain as that cold front is making its way over the Western Cape as we speak. Your temperatures, Polokwane 6 minimum this morning, reaching a high of 21. Mbombela 9, 27. Nice and hot in Mbombela. Pretoria 6 and a high of 18. Johannesburg 5, 17. Mahikeng 5 minimum, reaching a high of 22. Klerksdorp 720, Kimberley 3 minimum with a maximum 22, Bloemfontein 0, 19, Richards Bay under 12 minimum, your maximum 26, Pietermaritzburg 8 to 24, Durban 16, 24, Mthatha starting off on 7 minimum, reaching a mild 24 degrees, East London 14, 30, Cradock 10, 24, Port Elizabeth 13, 28, George 13, 25, Sutherland starting off on 4 minimum, reaching a high of 13, Cape Town 13 and 17 with rain expected. Some rain for Worcester as well, 10 minimum, your maximum 14. Springbok 10 minimum and a maximum of 15 degrees with some scattered showers expected. And Uppington starting off on 6, reaching a high of 25 degrees. As a wrap of your weather and your temperatures for the 7 o'clock bulletin, I'll have another update for you in half an hour's time, just after 7:30.
Happening on social media. It's pretty interesting. This person saying, here is a look at the proposed potential host cities for the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Mexico and Canada. This current list of 23 will be whittled down to 16 for the tournament. And of course, this is what people are looking at. This one says the 2026 World Cup final is reportedly going to be held at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Not bad, America. Not bad. And then going down here, Canada, USA, Mexico to host the 2026 World Cup. And then Big Cat says, not to brag, but what other country already qualified for the 2026 World Cup? And I like this one here. Where is it? The 2026 World Cup is going to be a little awkward with giant walls separating all 3 host countries. I think that's pretty interesting. Well, you can go and check that out. Of course, everybody's talking about the 2026 World Cup already.
Well, some people are excited for 2026 World Cup. We're excited for tonight as, of course, the World Cup Russia 2018 kicks off and there's a lot of excitement. We'll be sharing the teams we'll be supporting after the break.
I think they're already sick of me. We've only we haven't even gotten started yet, but of course we all had the opportunity to get really excited with an all-access tour of the World Cup trophy itself, and who better to present the trophy than Lucas Radebe, one of the greatest captains this country has ever produced.
If you do just one thing this year, bank better in 2018. Get the Capitec credit card with a limit of up to 150,000 Rand with personalized interest from 12.9% based on your credit profile and affordability. Bank better to live better with Capitec.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, you better get used to it.
For a second, I thought you were going to pull out a red card or a yellow card.
No, not yet, my friend. Not yet. That remains to be
there they
seen.
are.
As you can see, World Cup fever is gripping us, gripping the world, as it should be. After all of the build-up, we've finally made it to the 2018 Soccer World Cup tonight. Host Russia and Saudi Arabia will officially kick off the month-long showpiece where 32 of the world's top teams will fight to get their hands on the coveted golden trophy. Now, tonight's match, it kicks off at 5 o'clock South African time. You can catch all of the action live on SABC1. But before, of course, we are expecting a glittering opening ceremony, as you do. And the Luzhniki Stadium is going to be where we kick off with that opening game. All of the eyes are going to be on the kind of the footballing world at the moment, but also entertainment. Robbie Williams, I know, kicking off proceedings tonight, so that's something to look forward to. He is an absolute superstar, and of course he'll be joined by a host of famous celebrities. But we thought we would kind of bring it back down to our level.
Wow.
Can I just ask you, do you feel like super important?
Do you know how powerful I feel right now?
Red card.
It's a yellow card. It's just a yellow card.
So
You're going to miss your next match.
I'm actually going to try and get a red card just now.
Depends who you're supporting, bro. But we thought we'd have a little bit of fun because we know that Bafana aren't there. Okay, so we're going to give Bafana a red card. No, we'll give them a yellow card because they won the COSAFA Cup plate final. But we wanted to find out who you guys are supporting, okay? And I know, like, not all of you are emotionally invested in football, okay? But this is the best opportunity to do it. So I'm going to start with you. Who are you supporting in this year's World Cup?
I thought, if Bafana's not in, it's great to support another African country.
100%.
So I decided I'm going to go for Senegal. I mean,
lovely.
Liverpool's money is in there, so I might as well support Senegal. Yeah.
I know, but Sadio Mane, it's his time to shine, and he looks like the coolest guy as well. So I dig that, man.
So
I love that.
They've got my support.
Look, for me, I'm not that guy that follows sport religiously, all right, but I've got you.
No, it's not a red card yet. Sorry, it's a second yellow, which could be a red card.
I've got you and I've got Kat, and we're all kind of in this whole thing together, so we get all the sports around it. But when it comes to big kind of tournaments like World Cups, I mean, this is where I really like to get involved as well. But for me, taking a look at the kind of teams out there, it's a tough one because Bafana's now not in, and you really want to support your home team. Yeah. But it's like okay, cool. You look at the top names, the big ones as well. I'm going to go with France. Now, they've got Antoine Griezmann, Paul Pogba. I know that they've said that he's overrated. There was a report over the past while. But I'm there for you, my brother.
You redeemed yourself with that, man. Well done, man.
I'm there.
Oh my gosh.
So Greg, our brilliant sound guy, dude.
I just want you guys to go like, Ewan was right from the get-go.
Yeah, no, look, Paul Pogba, he is very good.
He's very, very good. Yeah,
really
so we're going to see a lot of fire on the field from that man.
There was some rolling of eyes.
No, because like he first says, I'm not really into sports. Like, France and Paul and the name.
Viva la France.
You studied a lot before this. All right. I did day yesterday. All right, so listen, it's called The Beautiful Game. I'm actually just here for the beautiful people. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just here for the brothers.
Spanish team is
basically, man.
I'm sorry that Italy aren't in it because they normally would steal the show in that regard.
I'm here for the brothers that are muy caliente, and Spain, gotta love them. So
I feel you, man. And this could be their time to shine, even though they replaced their coach.
Just looking for a man. Always looking for a man.
I'm looking at a man.
Well, there are a couple to keep your eye on. My pick of the lot, because half of my family is now English, and my significant other really doesn't care about football at all. So I've embraced England because basically the whole of Tottenham Hotspur is playing for England as well. They're looking absolutely awesome, but they've got Belgium to contend with in Group G, so it's going to be tough. But Harry Kane is their captain. Gareth Southgate, a former English player, he is amazing. The rain is falling. You see, that is auspicious. That is auspicious.
That was a blessing.
That is our World Cup emotional investment for the tournament. But you can let us know who you supporting throughout this World Cup. It's going to get hectic in here. And remember, you can catch all of the action from day one of the World Cup in Russia live on SABC1. The build-up versus Russia and Saudi Arabia is going to kick off at 5 o'clock, or at 4 o'clock rather, that game at 5 o'clock on SABC1. Yeah. Let us know your predictions. Hit us up at Expresso Show.
Absolutely. Wow. I've heard that especially Robbie Williams is looking forward to opening this, man. He's a massive soccer fan. Yeah,
ever performed.
Absolutely. He said it's a childhood dream of his to do this, so we can't wait. But talking about the build-up in the months ahead of the highly anticipated FIFA World Cup, that solid gold FIFA World Cup trophy has been making his round all across the globe, and we've been there when it stopped by in the mother city.
On this, one of its many stops across the globe, Coca-Cola South Africa proudly invited fans to thrill in a total FIFA World Cup trophy tour experience, bringing Cape Town alive.
The aim of the event is to get our fans ready for the FIFA World Cup 2018. So we've created an incredible experience. We're bringing the real trophy to this venue in Cape Town today, so consumers can get up close and personal with the trophy.
Understandably, the trophy is locked inside a glass case, but security aside, football fans could really get close.
Seeing the trophy up close has been a truly memorable experience. I mean, as a soccer player myself, holding that trophy would be a dream. And for those who've actually held it before, I mean, it must have been mind-blowing.
Seeing the World Cup trophy up close is an amazing feeling. I've been a big football fan all my life, so that's the ultimate, that trophy over there. So to see it in person, it's amazing.
Seeing it on TV compared to in real life is a very big difference. It looks very light and very small. Seeing it up close, it looks very, very thick. So it's an amazing experience.
Amongst other thrilling experiences around the Cup Tour is hearing South Africa's Casper Nyovest feature in the Coca-Cola FIFA World Cup anthem.
We give it everything from a get-go. You can feel the ambiance, so
we identified Casper as an individual who is also very passionate about using music to bring people together, to localize the FIFA World Cup trophy anthem with Jason Derulo.
The song, it's called Colors. I think it's a masterpiece of work. To a certain degree, it represents South Africa well because Casper teamed up with Jason Derulo, and the vernac comes out. Some of the phrases that South Africans love and know are also in the song. It's a feel-good song. It actually gets everybody, you know.
Came a long way, check the distance. Look how far we come now. There's beauty in our unity we found.
With fans overjoyed that South African favourite Casper Nyovest is representing our country in the anthem, we wondered how well they knew their other World Cup facts.
The first World Cup, I guess, probably been 1924.
1994.
As far as I remember, I think the first one was in Uruguay, and the year was 1930, something around that.
The first FIFA World Cup was held in 1930.
We come now. There's beauty in our unity we found.
The country that won most World Cups is Brazil.
Brazil.
The World Cup has been won 5 times by Brazil. I think that's the most.
Hands up for your colors.
The carats the trophy is made of, is it not 24 karat gold?
I think the World Cup trophy is made up of 24 carats.
About 17 carats.
24? I don't know.
I think the World Cup trophy weighs about 2 kilograms.
5.1 kgs.
Say 10 kgs.
People are excited, man. And it's the first time I'm seeing the original. You just can't put it into words. You need to come see it yourself to know what I'm talking about. It's like the atmosphere that we had back in 2010 when Philip was here. You can't put it into words. You need to be there to experience it.
Respect to Coca-Cola South Africa for making this FIFA World Cup trophy tour experience happen for local fans. And remember, kickoff starts today.
Well, we are back for round 2 as we're about to warm up our bodies and just, really get centered. Joelle is with us as we get into part 2 of our yoga session, because this coming Saturday, the 16th of June, it is Cape Town's International Day of Yoga, and it's all taking place at the CTICC. Joelle, you're about to take us through something that focuses a little bit more on the balance.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's bring our feet together again.
Okay.
And then Utkatasana, sounds very scary, but it's chair pose. You just sit down and you lift your arms up above your head. Nice. And now you bring the weight to the right foot and you slowly stand up and try to grab your left knee. Lovely. Now you find your balance. And with balance, it's important to find a focus point. So to focus your eyes on something.
Okay.
Lovely. Now bring that right hand on the outside of the knee and reach your left hand behind you. Yeah, nice twist.
There we go.
Good. Bring that knee back into your chest. Squeeze it in. And then bring that foot to the inside of the leg for a nice tree pose. So you place it either on the thigh. If that's a little too tricky, just take the calf and that's all right.
There we go. This is the pose I use to dip my Oma.
Yes,
There we
exactly.
go.
Your favorite Oma dip pose. And then if you want a more challenging version, you can bring your hands even above your head. And then obviously the people at home, they would repeat this also at the other side.
Okay, fantastic.
And then fit back together and exhale. Nice.
There we go. Can we do the other side? We've
Yeah,
got
of course
some
we
time.
can.
Yes, yes,
All right,
yes.
well then we do the other side as well. So Utkatasana, bring the arms up, breathe in. Let's take the breath into it and then bring the weight to the left foot. Bring the right knee in, exhale and squeeze.
There we go.
Awesome. Now you've got the balance, keep your eyes focused. And then bring that left hand to the outside of the leg. And twist. Twists are really good for the spine. They also increase your digestion. And then we go to that last pose to squeeze it back in. Refocus your eyes. You're doing a great job, Zoe.
Thank you.
And then bring the foot either on the inside of the calf for people at home that struggle a little bit with the balance, or on the inside of the thigh. And then that beautiful prayer in front of the heart. Good focus. And then breathe in, lift the arms up. You want an extra challenge? You can even bring your eyes up towards your hands, but as soon as we change our eyes, we'll notice that the balance becomes
Yes, I
more
closed my
challenging.
eyes and then the balance went
and then it's
haywire.
gone. And then feet back together.
Joelle, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks
of
for
course, a
having me.
big weekend ahead for all of the yogis, I'm going to say that. But you guys are also doing it all for a good cause for the Earth Child Project.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
So the main objective of International Day of Yoga is to bring everyone together, all the yoga studios we have here in Cape Town, and we've got amazing studios and a lot. And then the second objective is really to raise money for Earth Child's project, and they bring yoga to kids in townships. And it's so amazing for the kids. It builds their confidence. It helps them concentrate. So yeah, I'm a big ambassador of Earth Child's project.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, this coming Saturday, that's where it's all taking place at the Cape Town International Centre. So why don't you head on over there and, just namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste right here. Thank you so much, Zoe. Still to come after the break, we're chatting about World Blood Donor Day after the break. And then we're heading to the final frontier where we talk about a meteorite that crashed in Botswana. All that more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're tuning into your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you. It's your Thursday. The rain's just started pouring down in the Mother City and we love it. But today is also a very special day. It is World Blood Donor Day. It's one of the most pertinent health awareness events on the calendar because as it currently stands, the South African Blood Bank stock of donated blood is critically low and people's lives are at stake. Now, this morning we are joined by Michelle Vermeulen, who is the Corporate Public Relations Officer for the Western Province Blood Transfusion Service. Thank you very much for joining us, Michelle. Really appreciate it.
Good morning.
And from the get-go, I know that you guys work absolutely tirelessly on this, to make sure that those stocks are being kept up. But it is World Blood Donor Day today. What's the theme?
Right. So the theme for this year's World Blood Donor Day is be there for someone else, give blood and share life. And this theme is also, it goes hand in hand with giving blood as an act of solidarity, which then also in turn highlights the fundamental values of empathy and kindness, which underpin the selfless act of blood donation according to the World Health Organization.
Absolutely, and it doesn't take a lot of your time as an individual. It really doesn't, but it can have such a massive effect, once you're able to get there and you can contribute to those stocks. Now, we mentioned that the stocks are currently very, very low in South Africa, particularly in the Western Cape as well.
That's right, yes. We currently only have 1 day's worth of blood left. So we are 1 day left. So we are appealing to everybody who's eligible to donate blood to please come forward and donate blood, especially on a day like today, World Blood Donor Day.
Why is it so low? Is it just a lack of people not donating for some reason? Is it just because more is needed? Why are we sitting in this position at the moment?
There's actually various factors that contribute to where we're sitting at the moment. And we've got school exams that's happening at the moment. Ramadan has also got an effect. So our normal Muslim donors won't be able to donate during this time. And then also we're feeling the kind of effect of a few long weekends that we had leading up to this time as well. And then the winter time, the colds and flus. So our regular donors won't be able to donate.
What's the requirements? You meant that you obviously said that you need to be eligible to be able to donate.
Yes.
What is the basic requirements for
That's
someone?
also fairly easy. If you're older than 16 and younger than 65, and if you weigh more than 50 kilos and you live a healthy lifestyle, you will be able to donate blood.
Yeah. What happens in the event of the stocks running out completely? I mean, what do you stand to do then?
Well, that's why we're appealing to people to come forward, because blood cannot be artificially manufactured. We need people to come. We need people to come and donate. We don't want to sit in a situation where people's lives are at stake and we cannot supply blood. So, yes, we are appealing to everybody. Please come forward. It is critical.
And is it also specific blood groups that you're looking for, or is it pretty much everything?
At the moment, we are looking for everybody to please come and donate blood.
Okay.
So there's no specific blood groups. We are looking for O's, O positive, O negative, A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, as well as your AB positive and negative.
All right. And with regards to World Blood Donor Day today, I know that your main focus is to really drive this campaign and make sure that people know about it and make sure that people know that the stocks are very, very low. And then I know that also over the past while, you guys have been doing a lot of work in terms of, taking those blood donation stations around, and getting people involved. Is anything like that happening currently or in the foreseeable future as well?
Well, our blood bus is currently doing the rounds in the Western Cape, so you can also have a look on our website where our blood bus will be in the area. And then also, if you want to come and donate blood, also go visit the website, which I can give to you as well.
What is that website? Is it the SANBS?
So there's two websites. If you live in the Western Cape, you can go visit our website, the Western Province Blood Transfusion website. That's wpblood.org.za. And if you want more information on blood donation outside the Western Cape, you can visit South African National Blood Service. That's sanbs.org.za.
Awesome. Michelle, thank you very much for joining us this morning and wish you all the best. Thank you very much for the work that you guys are doing. You are like angels, absolutely angel for driving this. And we can't stress the importance of going out and donating blood enough. Do so. Those details are on the screen. That website also that you can visit is sanbs.org.za. Also, you can call their hotline. That number is also on the screen, 0800 119 031.
In the national news this morning, Eskom CEO Phakamani Khadebe has appealed to all employees to return to work as the company continues to navigate through a difficult financial time. A strike was called after Eskom's announcement that salaries will not be hiked this year. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Ministers William Kiese yesterday announced that the national state of disaster over drought had lapsed and would not be renewed. The Western Cape, however, remains a provincial disaster. On the international front, Britain advised citizens on Tuesday against travelling to an area in northeastern Mozambique over a series of attacks by groups with links to Islamist militants. At least 17 people have been killed. 10 of them were beheaded since May in the town of Palma near the Tanzanian border. And then finally, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has pledged to deliver a national apology to the survivors, victims and families of institutional child sexual abuse. More than 8,000 cases of sexual misconduct, largely committed at religious and state-run institutions responsible for the safety of children, have been committed in Australia. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. I'll have a full bulletin for you at the top of the hour.
Well, World Cup fever grips the studio and the world. Let's throw it forward to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico. That was after their joint bid won the right to host the tournament yesterday. Then bringing it back to today, the 2018 edition of the Soccer World Cup kicks off today as hosts Russia face Saudi Arabia at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Kickoff for that fixture at 5 o'clock South African time. You can catch all of the action live right on SABC1. And on to athletics, ASA have announced a squad of 39 athletes for next month's inaugural glittering 8-Nation Athletics World Cup in London. And it sees the likes of Caster Semenya and Akani Simbina in action. And finally, a big day in the world of golf as well. The 118th edition of the US Open gets underway today at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in New York with 6 South Africans in the field. More on all of those stories on the top of the hour.
Well, let's take a quick look at the roads in Gauteng and Boysens. There's congestion on the N1. In fact, it's the M1 northbound between Xavier Street and Empire Street with an average speed of 15 kilometers per hour with delays of close to 20 minutes that can be expected. I'll bring you a final traffic update at 8 o'clock.
Look around. Life is beautiful. The Hyundai Tucson.
Thank you so much, Zoe. It's just after 7:30. Let's quickly get another update in terms of your weather. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect mild to warm conditions today with rainfall expected for the southwestern region. It's just been coming down in buckets a couple of minutes ago. We are very happy for that. But let's run you through those temperatures very quickly. Polokwane is starting off on 6 minimum, reaching a high of 21. Mbombela 9.27. Pretoria 6 and a high of 18. Johannesburg 5.17. Mahikeng on 5 minimum, your maximum 22. Klerksdorp 7 and a high of 20. Kimberley starting off on a cool 3 degrees minimum, warming up to 22. Bloemfontein also nice and cold, 0 degrees minimum this morning, your maximum 19. Richards Bay 12.26. Pietermaritzburg on 8 minimum, reaching a high of 24. Durban 16.24. Tata 7.24. East London 14 with a nice and hot maximum of 30. Cradock 10.24. Port Elizabeth on 13 and also warming up to 28 degrees. George 13.25. Sutherland on the cooler side of things, 4 minimum with a cool maximum of 13 rather. Cape Town 13.17 with rain expected. Worcester also some rain today, 10 minimum, your maximum 14, and some scattered showers for Springbok expected with a minimum of 10, reaching high of 15. And Uppington 6 minimum, warming up to a mild maximum of 25 degrees. It's a wrap of your weather for the 7:30 bulletin. One last update heading your way just after 8.
Yes, indeed. You know what that sound means. It's time to cross into the final frontier. Now, something quite interesting happened. And right across our border, as we move into the final frontier, I think a couple of nervous people out there on the 2nd of June, we saw some footage emerging of a meteorite actually crashing down over Botswana. And while thankfully nobody got hit on the head, the footage was captured on CCTV. So this morning, we're going to unpack this event with astrophysicist Dr. Imogen Whittam. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the garb this morning? Looking absolutely gorgeous to talk about something that terrifies us. You know, I know that hundreds of thousands of small meteorites are crashing down to the earth all the time, but the fact that we were able to capture this event, can we actually play this video just so we can see this? And I know it's not the best footage ever because it was captured on a CCTV, but
there it goes.
Look at that. That is quite spectacular. You wish that a camera crew could have been there to capture that. So explain to us, first of all, what is actually going on there?
So in this case, a piece of rock somewhere between 2 and 5 meters across crashed into the Earth's atmosphere, traveling at over 40,000 kilometers an hour. And so when it plowed into the atmosphere, a huge amount of heat was generated, heating up the rock to over 1,500 degrees, which is hot enough to vaporize its surface, causing it to glow extremely brightly, causing this bright fireball that we saw.
Did any of it make it down to the planet?
Not that's been found yet, but there probably will be some small fragments.
And because we know these rocks are obviously comprising of different elements, will some things get burnt away? Will you find like a core of a particular metal? Or how do we normally find meteorites once they crash down to Earth?
So when there's a meteor thing like this, then obviously people go and look on the ground. But often, actually, these things aren't observed because either they happen during the day where we don't notice, or they happen over an unpopulated area. Remember, 2/3 of the Earth is actually sea. So we don't notice at the time, and maybe much later someone will find a piece of rock and we'll be able to tell from its composition that it's not from Earth, and then we know that must be a meteorite.
And some of them are quite valuable. If you see what some of them get auctioned off for. Okay, that's just thunder outside. Okay, that's not a meteor. How are we able to predict these sorts of events when they're that small? At what size do we start tracking? Do we even have a tracking system for meteorites?
So we do have a tracking system. NASA, yes, NASA and other space agencies are constantly monitoring space for any object that might be on a collision course with Earth. In fact, this object was detected about 9 hours before it entered the Earth's atmosphere, and that's the third object that we've managed to identify and then seen as a fireball.
Seen actually land. At what size do we need to start being alarmed?
Yeah, okay, so this object was 2 to 5 meters across and it did no significant damage at all. And that's because the Earth's atmosphere does a really good job of protecting us from these sorts of things.
Good job,
exactly.
Man.
Thank you, atmosphere. But if we take something, say, the size of a house, then that is going to do significant damage. It's going to, something the size of a house will release 20 kilotons of energy when it hits the Earth. So that's the same amount of energy that was released by the Hiroshima bomb.
Wow.
So that's going to flatten all structures within a kilometer of the central impact site, will do significant damage over tens of kilometers. So that could be devastating, particularly if it occurred over, say, a city.
Oh, man, I don't want to say be nervous because it's an infinite space out there. And luckily, the chances of these things being that size hitting us, we should see it coming. Doc, thank you so much for terrifying me. No, that was absolutely awesome. The fact that we've been able to actually see one of these events happening live, as spectacular as that was, is just really, really, really cool.
Well, Phil, to come on your feel-good breakfast show, you know when the weather is the way it is, like when it's rainy and cold, the only thing you want is comfort food. So we're making a delicious chicken biryani in studio. Oh, I'm available.
Incredible. And you know what's going to go well with that?
What?
Some music. Southern Wild with us on your feel-good breakfast show. They're performing after the break.
Coming up on Afternoon Express today, live at 4:30 p.m. on SABC3, we bring you one of the rising stars on the South African hip-hop scene. La Source shot to fame after she posted a song on social media that went viral, and her video, I Do, featuring Amanda Black, has received more than 6 million views on YouTube. Plus, we look at designs by Cape Town-based label Yebo Fashion. That's Afternoon Express, weekdays at 4:30 p.m. on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Sometimes it feels as if your love is like a stranger, my tummy razor. But when I'm in my wit's end, you lift me on my savior, my tummy razor. My tummy razor.
Everybody have your labels?
Yeah, man.
Time eraser.
Time eraser.
Time eraser.
stranger. My time,
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know how much we love you and appreciate you. And we also appreciate the shenanigans of our stars. Time to find out what our international stars have been up to. What's on the international fronts?
Let's talk about the Biebs for a second. Justin Bieber. Hailey Baldwin has seemingly made Justin Bieber the happiest we've seen in a while, so much so that the singer is back to chatting to fans and, of course, to paparazzi as well. He hasn't, no. Justin and Hailey were leaving dinner at Cicconi's on Tuesday night in Brooklyn, walking arm in arm and getting bombarded by fans and photographers. Now, Hailey made for a very quick escape into a waiting car, but the Biebs were super friendly. He spoke to fans and photographers and even took a trip down memory lane with some locals. Now, the two who dated briefly in 2015 were first spotted back together in Miami over the weekend, and it looks like they can't quit each other because their romance has moved to the Big Apple. It's cool, though. I think I like seeing Justin Bieber happy and, you know, just living his best life. So, hey,
I like it.
It looks like he's living the worst life ever. I mean, shame, the poor guy, man. That's cool, man. I think just this, you kind of get a sense that he is withdrawing. His career is being affected by the fact that he is always being focused on.
Yeah, but I like the fact that he's taking a break and just like living life. I mean, he was never a child. He was never a teenager. He was always just...
Because he does, for me, he fits into that kind of Michael Jackson bracket that's so unbelievably talented that he needs to be making music and he needs to be out there, man. But yeah, I suppose, like you say, you also need to find yourself, especially as a young dude.
Exactly.
He has to live life a little to come back and write it in lyrics.
Exactly. Well, Brad Pitt seemingly enjoys some me, myself, and I time because he was seen cruising all by his lonesome just a day after news broke that he would be granted more time with his kids. Now, Brad Pitt was spotted in London Wednesday riding his bike near a hotel where his estranged wife, Angelina Jolie, is holed up with their 6 kids. And Pitt was dressed very casually, sporting some headphones, a hat and shades. And of course, on Tuesday, it was reported that a judge recently ruled that Brad would have more communication and time with his children. The stories claim Jolie is not allowed to monitor phone exchanges between Brad and their children, and the judge believed any alleged restriction by Jolie could prove to be harmful to the kids. And a plan for visitation between Brad and the youngins was also hammered out while he was in London. So I'm really happy that he's getting to spend more time. He's a very important part of their lives.
You know how sore this makes my heart. Just the thought of being taken out of your child's life as a father is just heartbreaking. You don't know what's gone on behind closed doors, obviously. So we have no right to cast judgment, but you just hope that it moves on.
It's beautiful to see how the kids have also grown up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that was our international entertainment news, and bringing things a little closer to home. A beloved South African skincare brand Pond's, they're searching for the new face of Pond's, and you know, apart from winning the coveted title of becoming brand ambassador, winning a modeling portfolio, and some exciting prizes, one lucky lady will walk away with that top title. But of course, I recently had the opportunity to go to Johannesburg and meet the top 5 ladies as they were being briefed and prepped to what it would be like to become the face of Pond's.
Yes.
For the last couple of months, Pond's have been searching for the new fresh face to represent their lasting oil control range. And I can't wait for you to meet the lovely ladies.
The competition was open to women countrywide. Having received over 10,000 entries from beautiful South African women, it was incredibly tough for the panel of judges to narrow it down to just a few ladies to compete for the grand prize. Once the competition was officially closed, the Pond's team got to work, contacted the ladies, and they were whisked away for a weekend filled with fun.
Vashni, it's a very exciting day for the top 5 finalists of the Face of Pond's competition. From the thousands of entries you've received, how did you narrow it down to only 5?
Well, Zoe, it was quite a difficult task. There were thousands of beautiful images that we received.
This is a very tough competition and the ladies have to bring their A game. What are you hoping to see today?
We really would love to see their authentic nature come through. We want to see brand love, and we want our Pond's ambassador to be an inspiration and representative of what it means to be the Pond's woman.
Following where Ponds' celebrated brand ambassadors have led, the ladies prepared for a potentially life-changing journey.
Pretty, you're 23 years old and also working in finance. Why did you decide to enter the Face of Ponds competition?
Well, it's always been my dream to be the face of this reputable product. And skincare is very important to me. Being in the financial industry, I just aim to inspire and empower a young woman. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I'm extremely excited for the experience.
And Rick, makeup and beauty goes hand in hand. What's the look you're going for today and how does that complement the message of Ponds?
It's about natural beauty. So today is a beautiful, clear face.
How's this experience been for you so far?
I haven't done this before, so it's really exciting. Having these people around me, it's a lot of emotions going on. So yeah, I'm happy.
What are you most looking forward to during this competition?
Since I've never done it before, I'd like to learn more about it and enjoy myself. So far, the experience is amazing. The people I've met are amazing and friendly. And yeah, I'm pleased to be here.
The ladies' images will be published for all South Africans to vote for their top 3 favorites. And from there, Ponds will choose a winner.
Nonhlanhla, you've just had your turn in front of the camera and your images look incredible. What are you hoping to take from this competition?
I've taken that confidence and great skin is very important. You can see it reflect in the images. And I've taken that working together as women and motivating each other is very important. Today, I've worked with phenomenal women and we've been working together and helping each other through this day. And it's been amazing.
Ladies, congratulations for making the top 5. Kaylin, what would it mean for you to be the next face of Ponds?
I do associate Ponds with being a heritage brand. I mean, it's been around since 1846. Growing up, I would see my mother use these Ponds products, so naturally that rubbed off on me. In me potentially being the Ponds brand ambassador, it gives me a sense of self-pride.
Nosipo, today's been very exciting. You are looking beautiful. How have you prepared yourself for today?
First, I had to come to terms with being here, being chosen as one of the top 5. But when I got here, I also realized that the only thing that I can be is myself, and that's what I've brought to the table. And I also wanted to get along really well with everybody, so I've had a great time. And I feel like having that togetherness and that community has made today a great day for me.
It's so important for us that we find a brand ambassador that's going to represent our brand and have the strength to inspire our South African public. With Celeste Khumalo, Ayanda Tabete and Thembi Siete, she needs to be an inspiration to the South African public.
What happens next and when will the winner be announced?
South Africa has the chance to vote. They have the opportunity to vote on our Facebook and Insta pages. The exciting thing is that when you do vote, you do stand a chance of winning 1,000 rands. We will be announcing the winner on the 5th of July.
On July the 5th, the winner will be announced and she will have the coveted title of the next face of Ponds.
New Ponds Perfect Color Complex. The improved formula with vitamin B3 Plus helps fade dark marks. New Ponds Perfect Color Complex.
So let's take you back into the kitchen, our beautiful kitchen with its bright red, getting me pumped to cook this morning, or at least getting my partner in crime pumped this morning. We're going to be making a Be Well chicken biryani using the extra virgin olive oil from Be Well. It's absolutely amazing and really healthy as well. It's got a lovely fresh grassy taste with a distinct peppery aftertaste. Perfect for cooking as well, addition to salads, grilled veggies, meat, or any pasta dishes. And in this case, dun dun dun, a biryani.
Bam! And listen, man.
So my sweetheart, what are you making me this morning?
Stop it, man. You're making me blush. Listen, biryani is definitely one of those kind of comfort foods. It's great. It doesn't matter what the weather, especially like on Cape Town today when it's nice and cold outside. Brilliant, brilliant. So try this one out for dinner tonight. It's very, very easy. So let's start marinating our chicken. So we've got our beautiful chicken pieces here first. We've got some buttercream, all right, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to just spice this up a little bit. Some turmeric, all right, giving it that lovely color as well.
Yeah, man.
Then we have some garam masala and roasted masala.
These are basically your stock standard kind of curry spices that you want to get in. Introduce them as early as possible.
Absolutely. And then some grated ginger and garlic. That goes in there.
Held back, eh?
Dude, we're not holding it. It's biryani, dude. Boom. You can't. And then some grated tomato that goes in there. So that's going to be the kind of marinade.
Cool.
So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a mix, and you'll see that turmeric getting into that color.
Like a color dye.
Yes.
Really. Just be warned if you're going to be using turmeric.
And there we have
get it on yourself or your
just
clothing.
I'm not going to put everything in there, but then you leave this. Kind of 4 hours is fine. You can do it overnight as well. but just make sure that it gets a good old marinade going. All right. So just a couple of pieces. Let's get one of those.
And you'll see through a dish like this, you're constantly reinforcing the same flavors. So using the same dishes, you want to get those flavors introduced as early as possible.
There we go.
I know
Look
often
at
when
that.
cooking a curry, you'll cook the spices first to activate them, bring out
But
those
this is the
flavors,
nice thing about a biryani, because it actually is so easy. It really is easy. Now, while this is marinating, you want to kind of make sure that you get to the rest of your ingredients. So we've got basmati rice that we've kind of made already. Lentils, you cook down your lentils first and foremost. I mean, I think it's like 1 part lentils to 2 or 3 parts water. How you do it. Before that, you fry up some onions in there as well, and then you'll mix it together, and then you get out with this beautiful little concoction that we have there. Then you use the same pan, all right, using some of the Be Well canola olive oil. You pop that in there, and then this whole mixture goes straight into, bam.
Just flop. Boom,
just like that. And you'll see it'll beautifully reduce. Of course, you can also season it to your taste when you get to the marinade. And there we have.
So your marinade becomes a sauce as well.
Absolutely. And look how beautifully browned these chickens. So the chicken will then cook in the sauce. The sauce will reduce, really condensing those flavors as well. So there we have it. Look at that. Now that is ready.
My mouth is
So
watering
then all you need to do is really to assemble it. So you got your basmati rice, you put that as the bed. Then you get your lentils on there with your onions. You can flavor it with some saffron as well, the rice. And then you just go out dishing. Can you just scoop 1 or 2 pieces on there?
I'm going to take this guy because it just looks so beautiful.
And look at that color and that smell. Absolutely amazing for all that spices.
Let's get one of these little guys. And it's literally just falling off the bone as well. Which
Cool.
is
Now the keyword is Be Well.
amazing.
SMS that to 33728. That's Be Well to 33728 if you want to get your hands on the recipe. So what I've got here is just a dressing to go on top of our chicken. I've got some yogurt over here, and then we have our Be Well mayo, canola mayo, thick and creamy. So just about 2 tablespoons of these guys. Just like that.
Look, I know we're mixing it with a bit of dairy here, but it actually is vegan friendly in its base form like that. Very high in omega-3 as well, which is great.
Grated cucumber, some parsley.
Thanks. It's actually...
Baby, I'm teaching you.
I think it might be coriander, but he always tells me it's parsley just because... I just don't know why I don't think it. No, it's actually in a flavor profile like this.
And then just give us a good dollop of that on top of your chicken, and you will be good to go with your chicken biryani. That keyword is a Be Well. SMS that to 33728. I mean, this really, really is easy. I know that it's kind of easy that things are prepped. Okay.
Yeah.
But look at that. That is a proper family meal that you can indulge in.
How delicious and amazing.
You're very shy with the sauce, man, but it's fine.
We've got to Instagram it first, and then we'll lather it on. But that is amazing, dude.
How's that,
brother?
Just like that. Be Well is the keyword. SMS that to 33728.
You know what, Zoe, I could get used to seeing them in the kitchen.
Oh, with food like that, yes.
Well done, boys. Well done.
Well, we are taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, we'll touch on what it's like to have a newborn, especially those first 10 days with your new baby at home. So we'll be talking about that.
Exactly. And then Southern Wild performs after the break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When he's not bowling for hat tricks, he's being bowled over by a new baby boy. Catch creator Wayne Parnell in the Expresso studio this Friday as he takes on his new journey of fatherhood to baby Khalid.
That's because this Friday, it's all about the dads as we gear up for Father's Day.
Only on Expresso, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on SABC3.
The stage is yours.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Come on, let me see that little drive, guys. Welcome back as your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso right here on SABC3 every day. Millions of people around the world celebrate their birthdays, and you at home as well. So let's quickly take a moment and wish you a happy birthday. Who's the first?
I feel like Luke Skywalker wishing, I don't know, the Emperor a happy birthday right now. It's the one, the only, it's the man with the quaff. It's the Donald Trump. Oh, Donald. What can we say about Donald Trump? He is, of course, president of the free world, started his career as a businessman. Dad gave him just about 20 million to start out. Tough life. And I think he really hit the public eye as one of the do we say judges, bosses in The Apprentice?
Yeah.
That's where he developed his "You're fired." But boy, has he come a long way since then. Asking questions of the world. Right now.
There we have it. Well, happy birthday.
Well, listen,
Donald
you don't
Trump.
seem very happy about the happy birthday to Donald Trump.
He's okay.
Well, we're also going to say, if you love Pretty Little Liars, you're going to know the next lady. Lucy Hale, who plays Aria Montgomery, she's also celebrating her birthday and recently starred in the movie Dude. That's getting a lot of attention for being the worst movie ever.
But
so,
hello, Dude.
Hey, she's gorgeous.
She is. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Happy birthday to
yeah.
her. And then,
Dude.
Yes, they would also like to take a moment to wish Emmanuel Lushaba a happy 16th birthday, my
Happy
man.
birthday.
Emmanuel Lushaba, he's celebrating it.
16?
Yeah.
16?
That's it.
Dude, you
16.
lied to us right there.
Danae Hilbert, 14th of June as well. Happy birthday to you, Danae. Anyone else?
Can I throw out Carl
That's it.
Wasty? He's
Oh, yay.
today as well. Happy
Really?
birthday, Wasty.
Happy
Yes.
Oh,
birthday,
and Chaba G, it's a radio celebration today.
Wow.
So Donald, we love you. Happy birthday, Donald Trump, and happy birthday to everyone celebrating their birthday today. Let's get back into those news headlines.
In the national news this morning, Eskom CEO Phakamani Khadebe has appealed to all employees to return to work as the company continues to navigate through a difficult financial time. He has held a briefing at Megawatt Park ahead of today's one-day strike by the National Union of Mine Workers and the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa. The unions have called a strike following the utilities announcement that salaries will not be hiked this year and claim workers are being made to pay for what they call Eskom's self-imposed financial crisis. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday announced that the national state of disaster over drought had lapsed and would not be renewed, but the Western Cape remains a provincial disaster. The national state of disaster was declared in March following concern over drought, which was affecting most parts of South Africa. Mkhize said the declaration had led to various interventions being initiated by different spheres of government, expediting procurement processes. 433.5 million rand was accessed from the respective disaster grants to implement the augmentation and other immediate relief projects. Now moving further abroad, Britain advised citizens against travelling to an area in northeastern Mozambique after a series of attacks by groups with links to Islamic militants. At least 17 people have been killed, 10 of them beheaded since May in the town of Palma near the Tanzanian border. Palma is near one of the world's biggest untapped offshore gas fields, and petroleum companies are seeking to raise some $15 billion for a liquefied natural gas project in the region. And then finally, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has pledged to deliver a national apology to the survivors, victims and families of institutional child sexual abuse. He says his government has so far accepted 104 of the 122 recommendations by the Royal Commission. The upcoming apology was sparked by a 5-year inquiry into child sexual abuse. The apology will be on October the 22nd, coinciding with National Children's Week. More than 8,000 cases of sexual misconduct, largely committed at religious and state-run institutions responsible for the safety of children, have been committed in Australia. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
World Cup fever has begun, and let's throw it way forward to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's going to be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico. That was after their joint bid won the right to host the tournament yesterday. The United 2026 bid beat the bid from Morocco. That was after FIFA member nations voted in favor of the joint bid by 134 votes to 65. While 2026 will be a joint World Cup, Mexico have already hosted the showpiece back in 1970 and 86, while the United States held the World Cup in 1994. Now, bringing it back to the moment, the 2018 Soccer World Cup kicks off today as hosts Russia face Saudi Arabia at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Today's match will be the first official meeting between the two nations. Neither has had a great build-up to the tournament, but it's Saudi Arabia who have the better current form with 2 wins in their last 5 games, while Russia have just 2 draws. That match kicks off at 5 o'clock South African time, with the build-up kicking off on SABC 1 at 4. Then big news in athletics. Athletics South Africa have announced a squad of 39 athletes for the glittering inaugural 8-Nation Athletics World Cup in London. While 400-meter world record holder Wade van Niekerk sadly is still out through injury, the South African lineup is very strong. It's going to be led by the likes of Caster Semenya, Akana Simbine and Sunette Fagun. The Athletics World Cup will take place at the London Stadium from the 14th to the 15th of July. And lest we forget, also a big day in golf. The 118th edition of the US Open gets underway today. That's at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in New York, with 6 South Africans in that field. Former world number 1 and 2-time US Open champion Ernie Els is going to be taking to the course 21 years after his second US Open victory. His tee-off is tonight at 36 minutes past 7. At South African time. Elsewhere, world number 33, Brandon Grace, he tees off at 20 to 2 this afternoon with Charles Schwartzel getting going at 1:51, just moments after that. And that's a wrap of your sport for this morning.
Well, let's take a final look at the roads in the Western Cape. In Athlone, there's some congestion on the N2 inbound approaching the M3 highway. Roads are also wet this morning, so please proceed with caution. Make sure you reduce your speed and increase your following distance. But on that note, let's take a final look at what to expect in your weather.
Turning air into pristine, clean drinking water. Cirrus Water, the future of sustainable drinking water.
Thank you so much, Zoe. It's just after 8 o'clock. Yes, let's quickly take a last look at that weather and temperatures. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect mild to warm temperatures in certain places. However, some rain expected down in the Western Cape with that cold front making landfall. It's currently raining in the mother city. So like Zoe said, please be careful on the roads. They are wet. Your temperatures, Polokwane 6 minimum with a maximum of 21 degrees. Mbombela 9 and a warm 27. Pretoria 6 and a high of 18. Johannesburg 5, 17. Mahikeng 5 minimum with a maximum 22, Klerksdorp 720, Kimberley 3 minimum, your maximum 22, Bloemfontein 0 and a maximum 19, Richards Bay on a 12 minimum, your maximum 26, Pietermaritzburg 8 and a mild maximum 24, Durban 1624 as well, Mthatha 724, East London 14 and a high of 30, nice and hot today, Cradock 1024, Port Elizabeth 13 with a high of 28, George 1325, Sutherland 4 minimum with a maximum 13, Cape Town 13, 17, Worcester 10, 14, Springbok 10 and a high of 15, and Uppington starting off on the 6 minimum, reaching a high of 25 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures for your Thursday morning.
Protea Hotels by Marriott, they are encouraging us all to #wonder more, and our very own Brett Colopy is doing just that by the credible Protea's Hotel by Marriott Kruger Gate. Now, from game drives and Boma dinners to spa treatments and more, he's definitely on the adventure of a lifetime, and you can see exactly what he gets up to on his journey. Now, follow at Protea Hotels on Instagram as he takes over their account to give you updates on his incredible experiences.
So loving having the lads from Southern Wild in studio this morning. I'm going to first off say, go to their Instagram account, Southern Wild SA, to get some exclusive content. But really, you want to see them perform live. And they're going to be performing on the 25th of June at the Two Oceans Aquarium after dark. It's going to be a stripped-down performance where the band really open up and show you just how unbelievably cool they are in a dressed-down setting. And it is epic in that setting after dark. So go and get your tickets if you can. But they are here right now to give you just a little taste. Here they are with Time Eraser.
Cherokee. I'm still in love with you. But what am I to do? This one's for you. My ocean blue. I die before you fall. But what am I to do? Yeah. Sometimes it feels as if your love is like a stranger. My time eraser. When I'm at my wit's end, you lift me on my savior, my time eraser. Yeah, 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 yeah. My time eraser. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sometimes it feels as if your love is like a stranger. My time eraser. But when I'm at my wit's end, you lift me, you're my savior, my time eraser.
I'm not even going to bother asking what that song was about. I think we all get it. You can catch them with Grassy Spark on the 25th of this month.
Grassy Spark!
Grassy Spark, come on! They're going to be doing something slightly dressed down at the Two Oceans Aquarium after dark. And that says it all. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. One more performance from these legends. Stick around. Let us know what you thought of that performance on all of our social media platforms. Shout it from the rooftops. We're going to take a very quick ad break. We'll see you on the other side.
From beef lasagna to creamy macaroni and cheese, Clover the Whistling Chef's high-quality, ready-to-eat meals are made using trusted Clover cheese, milk and cream. It's SA's favorite home-cooked recipes, now prepared and conveniently packed with a variety to choose from. Added to that, Africa's first vac seal technology ensures they're kept fresher for longer for the whole family to enjoy. The Whistling Chef. Heat, whistle, eat, sing. It's as simple as that. Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Your bubbling baby boy or girl has arrived after 9 months of tension, anxiety, the big unknown. Wham-bam! You are now a parent and you have got to actually take care of this precious, beautiful new life. It is so hectic, and that's what we're going to focus on Baby Talk this morning. We're welcoming clinical nursing practitioner Irene Damon from the University of Stellenbosch. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
And it's like that. I mean, you're talking about the build-up, and then, you know, nothing can prepare you for that moment when baby arrives.
Absolutely.
So we're here to help you and to coach you through that whole first couple of, maybe week or two.
We have both been through it, obviously from a male perspective.
Yeah.
And we are very aware of that.
Very much.
But we have been there.
Yeah. Listen, what is the first thing that you in your profession find that catches parents off guard when baby comes?
That's the unknown. You don't know what to do. You have been waiting for so long, and all of a sudden, wow, here's the baby, here's the little one. You know, and people mothers and fathers doesn't know. Your first time mom, your first time dad, they think, what am I going to do? Do I touch them? Do I leave them? Do I hug them? Do I kiss them? But you can kiss your baby.
Yeah.
You can hug them. I think the first few minutes is that you just put your baby in your chest. And if dad is hands-on, he just need to lie next to you.
Right there.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there's no manual. There's nothing that prepares you. It doesn't matter the amount of classes you attend, nothing.
First, we just listen to the mother. That's the first thing as a guy. That's always a really good first step, because their instinct is just insane what kicks in that stage. But I was very lucky in that just due to the process of our birth, I got to be that first point of contact for a couple of days. Why is that skin on skin? I mean, it was honestly, the best thing that I've ever experienced in my life. But it's so important for Baba to have that skin-on-skin contact with the initial, whether it's breastfeeding or just embracing. I know a lot of mothers can't necessarily breastfeed or don't want to, and that's their choice. But that skin-to-skin, why is that so important?
Skin-to-skin is awesome, because it's like, and you're talking to baby, and baby is saying, I feel safe. It's a type of communication. You understand? When you put baby onto your chest, onto your naked chest. I mean, when our first hand, your heart just goes doof, doof, doof. So skin on skin is very important. Baby feels safe. Mommy feels like, wow, this is the 9-month-old little one which was inside of me, which I'm actually having on top of me. So in terms of that's very important. Skin to skin, it's communication. I feel safe. In terms of breastfeeding is awesome. I mean, like you just mentioned, sometimes some mothers feel that I can't breastfeed, or I have to not to breastfeed, or whatever the case might be. But when you put baby on your chest and you feel that heartbeat, it's just awesome. And you let baby latch. Because the first 24 hours of breastfeeding is actually so important. You just put baby on the breast. But remember now, for the first 3 days, there won't be any milk. There will be colostrum, which is actually so important.
That they need,
they need
superfood.
And when it comes to breastfeeding, we need to understand that breastfeeding is readily available. It's there. It's the right temperature.
We're talking about breastfeeding and feeding baby in general. I think that is one of the first mountains that a mother and a father has to climb, because there's an anxiety. What if baby's not eating enough? What if he's not latching properly? You know, there's so many things running through your mind. So what do you do in that? What advice could you give if you feel that you are struggling to feed your baby? And what are some of the things that you need to look out for?
I think when you read all Mr. Google, Dr. Google, Professor Google, whoever
Nurse
that
Google,
is, Nurse Google, yes, they confuse you so much. My advice to new mothers and potential mothers would be, you know what, go to a reliable source of information, like your clinical nurse practitioner, like your pediatrician, right? So when you get there, get all the information that you need to do, but still, you take that information home and you think, what am I going to do now? Here's baby now. And then just follow your instinct.
I was about to say natural.
Follow your instincts.
Kicks in.
Just have a nice, relaxed, Graham, have a nice, relaxed environment, nice rocking chair, put baby on a pillow, put baby on the breast, let baby look for the breast, because when baby is hungry, he's going to tell you, or she's going to tell you she's hungry.
And they also have a huge amount of instinct, and they're pretty sharp, these little bubbas, despite being so fresh and new in the world. One of those areas you mentioned, Dr. Google or Nurse Google, where there are so many conflicting approaches and kind of ideologies when it comes to baby's first bath.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going to ask for your opinion, not because, I mean, it is such a contentious issue. How do you feel about the baby's first bath, and what's important to know or take into account?
I think that is very different for some mothers. Some mothers are too afraid to touch their babies. So we as nurses normally then take baby away from mother, depending on where you actually deliver, whether private or government hospital. But the ideal would be to let baby stay with mom. You understand? Let that vernix be on it. Don't bath baby the first 24 hours if you can, because that is like a protective layer, and it actually protects baby, and it's good for the baby's growth. You can you can actually bath baby after 24 hours. Yes,
and that was the most exciting thing I think that I've done. Not only being shown how to do it in the hospital, but when you take baby home eventually and you do it at home for the very first time, that is super special. But there's so many things that I think new mothers and fathers need to kind of think about or tend to think about. Things like simple thing. How do you carry baby around? What is the best way? Is it like this? I've seen dads carry baby lying on the forearm with just hanging. There's so many interesting ways. Is there a right or a wrong way?
No, what's important?
No, there's definitely no right, no wrong way. Okay,
just support the neck.
Absolutely. You're a hands-on dad. Right? Absolutely, support the neck. That's very important. All right, but father's touch is very important for the baby because it's a different touch to the baby. Unlike we as mothers, we will touch them as if they are porcelain dolls or wrapped in cotton wool or something like that. But the father's touch, it's actually very important because that actually contributes towards the growing process.
Different kind of stimulation.
And carry baby next to you. Wear it in a carrier, in front, at the back, in one of those little fancy gadgets that you get now.
I'm just remembering the look I got from my girlfriend's dad the first time he saw me come out with the pregnancy kind of wrap
That is beautiful.
thing, and I was so proud of myself. And this old school dude was like, "Where are you coming from? What planet are you on?" But absolutely love it. So we'd love to hear from you guys if you've got any comments or questions, especially if you're a new parent happening right now. 021 430 9881. Please share your experiences with us.
The excitement and the heat it is on in the 2018 Lancewood Cake Off, where South Africa's #1 cream cheese is on the hunt for South Africa's #1 cake. Now, after a 7-week period of entries and public voting, the top 3 finalists have been shortlisted and are preparing to compete in the Cake Off Challenge right here in studio for their chance to win that dream prize of a trip to New York City worth 150,000 Rand. Now, today we meet Fazia Omar, whose rose, pistachio and raspberry gâteau secured her a spot in the final. And along with her is mentor and Cake Off judge Zola Nene to help prepare her for the ultimate cake making challenge. Ladies, good morning.
Woo, Fazia,
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Has any of it sunken in? You are in the top 3.
Okay, so we just need to breathe.
Breathing is good.
Because this last week was like an election campaign. I thought I was running for president. I was checking it every day. I was checking the leaderboard.
Yeah.
But we're here, and I'm just thankful and I'm grateful to everyone that voted.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity for me because I bake every day and I love baking. So it will be the cherry in the top if I win. Everyone will appreciate my talent.
Well, unbelievable. I mean, what an incredible story. Now, Zola, you are Fazia's mentor. You're also a judge in the Cake Off.
Yep.
So you're not allowed
impartial
to be impartial judge. So you're not allowed to be biased in any way. But what were your thoughts on the top 3?
I mean, I thought the top 3, the cakes looked really beautiful. And I love that they were all very individual and very different. So all their personalities came through. And I'm just excited to taste them. I mean, the recipes look great. And, it's all in the taste. So I can't wait for the Cake Off to happen.
Well, Fazia, you are a beauty therapist by profession.
You can tell.
You can tell.
Gorgeous she is.
Absolutely
My
gorgeous.
gosh.
And of course, you create beautiful cakes as well. Where did your love for baking start?
So I started. Oh, okay. You've been stalking me on Instagram. Okay,
we do our research here.
Oh, do you go down deep? Okay, so baking for half of my life. I started with baking birthday cakes for my friends and family. And then I was so obsessed with perfecting the macaron. And then when I eventually got that right, I was hooked, just creating beautiful pastries, experimenting, and I just love it.
Oh, well, we love the fact that you entered. I mean, you are literally one Cake Off away from that trip to New York City. What inspired you to enter this cool competition?
Okay, so 5 days before the entry closed, my sister-in-law sent me a picture of the competition and she says, "You should try it, you'll surely win." So I tried.
Fantastic. You know,
That's
that's
amazing.
incredible because we've been saying, you know, this is your last chance to enter. Make sure you enter.
And it's been going since April.
It's been going for 7 weeks. Now, Zola, you are obviously Fazia's mentor. What advice would you give her for that cake off? Because you know what it's like to cook on live TV. It's one thing to just create a beautiful creation, but to be on camera, there's added pressure to it.
No, there is, and the only sort of advice I can give you is just focus. Don't let the cameras sort of deter you. Don't let the fact that you're in a different environment deter you. Just do what you know.
Stress.
Don't try not to stress. I know it's quite an impossibility, but yeah, just you've made the cake before. You know it's your cake. You know exactly what it's supposed to look like. You know the process. Just buckle down and do it, and don't be phased out by everything that's happening around you.
And the pressure.
And the pressure.
Yeah. So have you been practicing for this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like practicing. I'm baking the cake every day.
No, you're not.
No.
I was like, whoa.
Okay, I've made it 3 times. Okay.
That's good.
But the cake-off is only taking place on the 5th of July. What are you, I'm asking this question to the both of you. What are you most looking forward to during this challenge?
Okay, so I'm looking forward to working with Zola because she has great experience and she's been through this and she has her own recipe book and she's a TV personality. So she's going to rub off all her talent on TV.
Yeah, have it all. Have it all. For me, I'm looking forward to tasting all the cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I'm excited to just visually see all these cakes. I hope we get to taste as well.
Well, I know I do. I can't judge without eating the cake.
True.
I'll save a bite for you, Zoe.
Please do. Oh,
I'll just bake you a cake then. I'll bake it the 5th time.
Me?
Keep baking.
I'll take one. I'll take the cake too.
Oh no! Listen. Okay, but Zoe, what advice would you also give Fazia in terms of taking this moment, this platform, and making more of it post competition?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge competition, and the type of exposure that you get from not only being one of the finalists, but especially being the winner, if you are the ultimate winner. I mean, the previous winner in 2016, she opened her own cake shop, so she turned her passion into an actual business. So there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, you get seen by a lot of people. And it's a great brand to align with. So you could. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So just keep baking and doing your thing and into these competitions. Win a trip.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Fazia, we're going to have you back on the show for the cake-off. So I'm wishing you all of the best of luck in the preparation ahead of it. And Zola, thank you for joining us.
My
We always
pleasure.
love having you here. Now, Fazia's passion for this craft is, it's pretty obvious. And we can't wait to see what she can do in the final stage of the Lancewood cake-off. We live, it will all be happening here on your Feel Good Breakfast show live. The final will be taking place in studio, but it won't be easy. There will be 2 other challenges that will be doing everything they can do to take that title and scoop the prize. So we're wishing all of them the best of luck.
Oh, feeling the pressure there, just like our brand new parents. Are you a new parent? Have you just gotten home with your bundle of joy? Well, we'd love to hear from you. 021 430 9881. That's what we're talking about in Baby Talk. And then the babies are back, those babies with very special abilities in The Incredibles. Incredibles 2. It's going to be hitting the local box office. We get the latest from JP Sebastian. We'll see you now.
Join the party this Saturday evening on Top Billing as Queen Bee invites you into her dazzling new black and white themed pad. With a Springbok New Girls album in the making, Arno Carstens tells us more about it. Presenter search on 3's Pubby Malloy is watching dreams come true. And events maestro Late Swanepoel is loving fatherhood. Catch Top Billing this Saturday at 6 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
We're having so much fun. Welcome back to it. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. We are joined by a clinical nursing practitioner, Irene Damon from the University of Stellenbosch. It's all things baby talk, especially if you're a new mom or dad. What are those kind of things that you need to take into account? How do you go about with your baby for the very first time? So many questions. Irene, lovely to have you. Thank you.
You just keep looking at the two of us. Like I can see you reliving all of those lovely memories of seeing new parents like, oh my word, what do I do? I think one of the first hurdles to cross, okay, eating is probably one of the big ones. Then sleep. What are those initial sleep patterns like? What should be the ideal that we're working towards, and what can often go wrong or shake up your routine in the beginning?
I think this again should actually be determined by the family, by mom and dad and baby. All right, so your routine, mom and daddy's routine is going to be out.
Yeah.
So you're going to adjust according to babies.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's no like in routine. Baby will tell you exactly when am I hungry, when do I want. Yes.
But important to establish a routine, right?
I think it's very important, when you bring baby home, let's say you come back from the hospital, right? So newborn babies normally sleep up to 17 hours.
Yeah.
Some sleep up to 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Some like in turn night and daytime around. So I think what is important to create a sleeping routine, make sure that baby's breastfed, okay? Baby's tummy is full, because when the tummy is full, the eyes close, the bum is wet, the bum is dry. I nearly say the bum is wet. The bum is dry, okay?
It's the rain,
you burp baby, all right? If baby want to sleep, always make sure that baby associate sleeping with bedtime, with the bed. So don't let baby sleep in your arms. Take baby when baby's about to sleep and baby's drowsy. Then you just take baby to his bed, to his cot. All right. Close the curtains so that baby can actually, associate when I'm drowsy, I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. So one should actually try that.
I love that. And be adaptable. Don't go in with a plan and then when you have to change, that it doesn't work. But we've got Wenzile on the line right now. Wenzile, very good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, Joe, and how are you?
Oh, beautiful. All the better for hearing from you. Are you a new mom? Are you going to be a new mom? How are you kind of weighing into the conversation?
Oh, no, I've been through that experience twice already. I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and then I've got a 3-year-old son. Yeah, but what's the most important thing that I learned through this journey of motherhood is that, when you're pregnant, you have ideas how I want my kid to be and what I'm going to do when my child arrives. But the most important thing is that, especially when it comes to bathing the babies, we need to stick to those glycerin-based soaps because the baby's skins are very delicate. So we get too excited, we buy the Johnsons, whatever. Not to bad name them, but it's important to stick to those very soft or light soaps so that the baby will adapt. Because what I discovered is that my daughter started, she was such a needy baby. She was crying all the time, and I discovered at 4 months that she had eczema. That's why she was itching so much, and I was using all the wrong soaps, wrong moisturizers, and then when I consulted the dermatologist and I got to learn about it, that she had the skin problem.
We also went through a bit of an eczema thing. Wenzile, thank you so much. That's awesome. You've got to keep it natural as possible with the baby, and that's taking nothing away from all of the research and development that gets done in that baby. But you are, as a new parent, at when the first time you walk into a big kind of shopping kind of destination for babies, and they're like, are you a first-time parent? And they're like, yes, well, come into the VIP platinum section where everything costs 3 times as much. And because you want the best for your baby, but keep it natural.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And I also think, talking about stepping out, as a new parent, if you're going through it for the first time, there's a lot to worry about. And as parents, you freak out about the tiniest little runny nose or something.
Yeah.
How do we stay calm? And what should we do?
I think, without giving my age away, I hope not. 23 years ago, I was one of those moms who took in big cotton balls and put it into my daughter's ears. Taking her out for the first time because I was just thinking the wind and the people in front of me must just, step away. I think when you take your child out for the first time, make sure that they are fed, they are dry, they are not sick at all, okay? But remember, there are 2 things which is actually going to disturb this little one. One of them is smell, Because remember, baby only knows the mother smell and dad smell and all of the other siblings. And then there's noise. So you need to take that in consideration when you take baby out.
Overstimulation.
Yes, that overstimulation is going to have repercussions in terms of sleep.
And then I'm going to ask you, to take a look at the screen here. We've got a question coming in from Khotso saying, my baby boy is 10 days old. Congratulations, Khotso. He is always crying because of the pain in his stomach. What can I give him so that he doesn't feel the pain anymore? When I've gone to the clinic, the nurse said to me, it's normal on his birth month.
This is very, very common, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it saying it's normal doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing you can do about it or it's right?
Exactly. No, thank you for the question. Yes, Khotso. I think it's very important, and that is normally what we normally get all the time. My baby's having stomach cramps, but what is stomach cramps? Stomach cramps can be anything,
Do we
right?
blanket everything with colic?
Yes. So you start off by, are you breastfeeding? Are you bottle feeding? Okay. So what type of milk are you giving baby? Because remember, this can be either stomach cramps due to the milk that baby's getting, or the breastfeeding of what mommy's eating. Like, let's say, for argument's sake, cabbage can cause a lot of flatus. You understand? And that can be abnormal for the baby, and he will be unable to pass that. Wow, but the most important thing is, what does baby drink? Is it bottle fed? Is it breastfeeding? That's important. And then do the I love you. The I love you massage. That's why baby massage is so with the stomach. With the stomach. Because you find that babies maybe just too tense. You understand? So you just need to actually reach your baby.
Dance. Just do the little farty dance.
But it's great. And also, I think spend time on burping baby properly, especially 10 days in. Very important, because a lot of people tend to kind of rush and, there's a little burp, but spend time on that, get all the wind out.
And it's so satisfying when you get it right.
Yes.
For the first time, say, Dad, for the win, I can do something.
Yes, and if I can just come on to that burping thing, I think when you take your baby and you just lift your baby up, you don't need to pat baby the whole time. You know, you don't even have to rub. You just hold baby up straight. I normally make this example and say, you know what, guys, when you go to your favorite restaurant and you have your favorite meal, and somebody just pat you and say, come on, burp now, burp now.
That biryani earlier.
So it is important just to lift him up. He just needs to be lifted up. And be supported by his neck.
Thank you very
You're
much.
actually making me think about going back there all over again. I know.
You've done it. I'm good.
But thank you so much to everyone who's weighed into the conversation. We're going to do this again next Thursday. But to Irene Damon, you've been an absolute star.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we are now turning our attention to movies. JP Sebastian, our movie guru, he's with us in studio as we talk about the movie releasing tomorrow, The Incredibles 2. Now, it's been 14 years since the first one came out in 2004. And JP, I'm quite excited to hear what you have to say about this.
Oh, well, I think one of my favorite things about Pixar as a studio, this is the people who brought us Inside Out and Toy Story, all those we know. These are classics. It's like during those 14 years, they weren't just sort of farting about. They were hard at work. The amount of love and blood that people put into modern animations is amazing. Like, a live action you can do in 4 months, you shoot it, post-production 3 months, animation takes years, and it pays off,
Well, I have to say, I read that critics are saying that this is probably going to be one of the bigger, it's going to be a box office hit.
The last one as well is considered, I suppose, a modern classic in a way. It's nice that it's a story that's a bit different compared to, you've got a bunch of other superhero movies that we're telling from Marvel and DC and all that kind of stuff. But this has obviously got to do with this common American family who by night, by day, average family by night.
Girl and Mr. Incredible.
Yes, those names which JP remembers. Absolutely. No, don't worry. I like the movie too. So the story this time around is that, so we had this new baby come along in the previous one, and now he's... The family's kind of fallen on hard times because superheroes aren't allowed to do their business anymore. The government said, can't do what you want. And a private guy, billionaire, who's interested in superheroes coming back into the frame, employs Elastigirl to take over. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you a clip where the father has to deal with the household chores and dealing with the new baby. Speaking of new baby problems, if you've got laser beams coming out of your baby's eyes, maybe you want to learn from this.
Let's check it out.
Looks normal to me. When did this start happening?
Since Helen got the job.
I assume she knows.
Are you kidding? I can't tell her about this. Not while she's doing hero work.
Girl, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men. I don't think so.
I've got to succeed so she can succeed. So we can succeed.
I get it, Bob. I get it. When was the last time you slept?
Who keeps track of that? Besides, he's a baby. I can handle it. I got this handle.
So, you good then? You got everything under control, right? What the?
Cookie. Cha-cha want a cookie. Num num cookie. Cha-cha want num num. Num num cookie. Cookie.
You're not.
Cookie.
Oh my God.
Cookie.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So he can still hear you
From the other dimension, yeah.
That is freaky.
That's pretty entertaining. You got the camera crew, you got everyone behind the scenes excited about this.
Yeah, I think I heard Graham giving a sadistic, like, help me kind of laugh. Baby appropriately named Jack Jack, by the way. So double the trouble if you like.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you found it quite cute.
Yes, of course.
There are all sorts of many layers that the comedy works at then. Like, it actually is quite adorable, a lot of the scenes. And usually that's hard to get right with, like, child actors. Sometimes it can be annoying or whatever. But what's so clever about the movie is that you've got all these age groups going on and something to laugh at for practically everyone, I suppose.
And there's humor for everyone.
In a way, then you also got like a sort of, so it's not necessarily lost per second, but it's the kind of comedy that you've grown up with, watching like a husband and wife sitcom kind of situation. And here it's the tension of he feels like he's in a bit of this midlife crisis and he's taking over what, and I hope we all realize this now, household maintenance is actual labor. And at least the movie tries to tell that. Yeah, so there's that role reversal in a way as well. It's quite woke, if you like.
It is cool, and I love that they, breaking the stereotypes that mom always stays home with the baby, because that's not the case these days.
And that you see that it does, as you can see, the poor dude is drained, I think. At least Graham knows this from the other side.
Well, I have to ask you, how many popcorns are we giving?
So,
The Incredibles 2?
Let me at least say a bit about the movie itself. It moves constantly really well, and it moves tonally really nicely as well, from like the high adventure to really dark scenes that aren't necessarily threatening for your kids to see or anything like that. So the pacing is really good. The tempo is great.
What's the age restriction? PG,
man,
everyone.
You caught me off guard. I think it's PG-13, but go look it up for yourselves.
Okay.
Nevertheless, 8 out of 10 for a sequel that's really good.
Really good, and it's animation.
Yeah, I mean, like, people take it for granted, but it's animation, serious business. Takes a lot of writing, and you have to do so much more with less, basically. It's really human,
That's great. 8 out of 10 popcorns. That was JP Sebastian giving us his take, or at least his popcorns, on the movie The Incredibles 2 that's releasing in the box office tomorrow.
I mean, come on.
He has a heart.
He has a heart. He
man.
really does. I mean, and you can't give Incredibles a bad score. Come on. It's Mr. Incredible, man. It's an incredible movie. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, a moment in between. When we come back, we're making a delicious Eid recipe, raspberry macaroons, or is it macaron?
I've got a mouthful of muffin, I'm sorry, man. Princess just treats us too good, man, in our Mac Cafe. Then, of course, we've got one more opportunity to see the brilliant Southern Wild perform live for you. Don't stray too far.
Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Yep, we all know there is nothing better than the taste and quality of Clover Fresh Milk. So as Youth Day approaches this weekend, a massively important day for South Africa, we want to celebrate with Clover this week with some of South Africa's freshest youth and their many talents across the country. So instead of standing in anyone's shadow, our next young guest, Kolo Montsi, let himself be inspired by his bigger brother, Sipho. And they've both achieved incredible things in the world of tennis. There was one of our cameramen just screaming in glee because these guys are so talented from humble beginnings. They've done some pretty impressive things already in junior tennis. Guys, welcome back. You're no strangers to Expresso. We actually did the coolest feature on you. I remember Kat and I were just watching and like, oh my word, just remember these names. So I'm going to put it to both of you. Was it always going to be tennis? Were there other things? Because I always find guys who are as talented as you probably could have done pretty much any sport. What was it about tennis that grabbed you? Was it just older butts?
Well, we played every sport: cricket, rugby, soccer. I did karate. I played squash as well. And yeah, we thought we'd be playing soccer when we get older. But he started playing tennis at around 11, and he started off at school. And at that stage, I was doing SA karate, and my
underachievers, man, come on.
my brother started traveling, and I told myself I also want to travel just as much as him. So that's when I basically dropped karate just to start tennis.
He missed you, dude. That's what happened there, man. So, younger brother's just achieved #1 in under 16s. Are you still better than him? Who's the better player, man? Be honest, bro.
I'll still consider myself the better player. But I mean, he's a lot better than what I was at his age. But when we compete against each other, I'm still winning.
Is that what drives this? Because, I mean, in a career like tennis, and you guys effectively have started a career in tennis as much as you're both young, and I don't want to block you into a pigeonhole. I mean, you're on that path now. How important is it to have that competitive nature, to have that driving you in this kind of situation? Do you feel that it makes you a better player knowing that you've got to set an example?
Definitely. Because we both like super competitive. So I would just work hard because I don't want him to beat me, and he works hard because he wants to beat me. So it definitely pushes the both of us. And I mean, we just love it. And that's why we work hard pretty much to beat each other.
Dude, you're on an interesting kind of cusp now. What's next for you? You've dominated so much in the junior kind of field. Now you're moving into a very big, wide world. Are we going to lose you to the US? What's the next kind of plan in your own evolution?
Well, you know, like you said, done really well in the juniors across the world. And my next step, I'll be going to the States. I'll be in college there for 4 years. And I just now recently committed to the University of Illinois. So I'll be heading there very soon, and I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I've been spending a lot of time in the US. It's superstar stuff. That's like college, any college discipline is just massive. So congratulations, dude. I know it would have taken a lot to get there.
Thank you.
So is that the kind of path for you? Do you see yourself following, maybe not necessarily to Illinois, that might be just too much to ask, but do you even look that far ahead now? Or is it focused on under 16?
Well, yeah, my main goal has always been to go pro. Well, #1, obviously. And right now I haven't thought about college yet, because I started with the start of pro tournaments futures last year in Stellenbosch, and I played and I saw that I can actually do pretty well here. And so yeah, for me it's straight pro. I haven't really thought about college, but obviously in a few years' time, maybe if something doesn't go according to plan, college might have to be the way.
The next step, man. But there are so many routes. I don't want you to think that you're restricted in any way. You guys are so young, unbelievably young, with incredible talent. But there's something just cool and calm and collected about it all, which is probably the right way to approach the mental game. But thank you so much. I know you're inspiring a lot of other young sportsmen out there. Karate, soccer, cricket, whatever, underachievers heading into Youth Day. So cool to meet these young men. You can follow them online. We're going to have all of their details as well. But this just gives you an idea of how talented South Africa's youth really are. And Youth Day illustrates, I think, to young people especially, that you can make a difference. You can make an impact in the country, in the world, globally. It's all about backing yourself. So being young doesn't mean you are powerless. And I want you to think about that as we head into Youth Day.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Right, so look at these beautiful little guys on the Expresso menu next. Lemise Abrams joining us in the studio right now. Absolutely phenomenal. She is a cake addict, a self-taught baker, and she's been gaining a lot of attention on Instagram. She's the owner of Just Baked, with 2 T's, I've just learned as well. Lemise, thank you very, very much. So good to have you. So just in time for Eid, you're bringing these beautiful creations, raspberry macaroons. Yeah. My goodness, that is a feast for the eyes.
Thank you.
So would you eat it in like one go, would you say?
I think so, yes. Just pop it in your mouth.
I'm so giving it a go later on. So macaroons, why macaroons?
Oh, they're just the perfect treat for Eid.
I like it. That's good enough for me, and I'll take it. And I see you bring really fancy. You got some gold
edible
plating
gold,
here,
that's right.
exactly, in the macaroons. Let's get into it. Is it difficult to make macaroons?
It's really not that difficult. The method I like to use, which is quite simple and easy, is the French method.
Yeah.
Okay.
The French method, because they are macarons.
Yes, because you get a French method and you get an Italian method.
Oh, really?
The Italian method is a little bit more tricky. So let's do the simple French method.
Go with the French method. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So what do we got there?
Okay, so what we need is 100 grams of egg whites.
Okay.
We'll need 100 grams of caster sugar.
Yes.
120 grams of icing sugar and 120 grams of ground almonds.
Right.
So to start, you just need to sift your almonds and your icing sugar to make sure that you remove all the lumps and any skin from the almonds.
Yes.
So basically, we'll just whip the caster sugar and the egg whites together for about 3 minutes until soft peaks form.
So we've got to, we had it whisking for a little bit before.
We had it whisking.
Which is good. Okay.
So it's almost ready. So we can just add the caster sugar.
All right. Now the keyword is treat. SMS the keyword treat to 33728 if you want to get your hands on the recipe, and you could be making these beautiful raspberry macaroons yourself. I mean, look at that. Take a page out of Lemise's book, that's for sure. All right.
So it's ready.
Okay, so very, very important, obviously, not to overmix.
No. Just until soft peaks form.
Yes.
Sorry, and because it's a rose water raspberry macaron, we're just going to add a little bit of food coloring.
Right.
Okay, just a little bit of
so
red.
in the powder form, as you use, obviously you get the gels
if you
as
use
well.
the gel, it changes the consistency of the mixture. So very important to use a powder.
All right.
Okay, so then we'll just add the icing sugar and almond mix.
Right.
Half.
Okay, so not
time.
everything at once.
No, because you just want to mix it well first.
That's it. So you want to incorporate it. And you can already start to see. I mean, you put so little of the powder in there.
Yeah, and it's already changing color. Okay, and then we'll add some more.
Then the rest of it. So make sure that you combine it just nicely without over-mixing it completely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So once that is beautifully combined, then you obviously just pop it in a piping bag?
That's correct. Pop it in a piping bag. You'll know when it's ready once it forms a V.
Okay.
Once it forms a V, once the mixture just forms, it forms kind of a ribbon shape, and then you know it's ready to pipe.
All right.
So
then you pipe it into your little kind of medallions.
Yes, and then this is what you will get once you bake it for about 10 minutes on 130 degrees.
And look at that. And it's beautiful. It's nice and light and airy, just like a macaroon should be.
Yes.
So let's put it together. Lemise, how we go from here to there?
For macarons, for the filling, you can use a ganache, a curd, or a buttercream. Today, we will be using white Lindt chocolate that we mixed with a little bit of fresh cream. And then we added a little bit of rose water to that just to give it the flavor. With macaroons, the flavor is all in the filling.
Right.
Okay.
So let's see.
So we'll just pipe a little bit in the center.
Just like that.
Just like that. And then we'll just put a few raspberries around.
And look at that. Now it's coming together nicely. Perfect. That keyword is treat. SMS that to 33728. You can go check it out on our website as well, expressoshow.com.
Top
just
it
like
with
that.
another shell.
All right.
And then we'll use the rose petals just to give it a little bit of extra, something special.
And then you have, I just want to see you use this gold plating quickly, as you can see.
Yes.
And so that is just for kind of just sparkling it up at the end.
That's right.
And look at
Give it
that.
a little extra something special.
My goodness. And there you have it. Lamise, thank you very, very much.
It's a pleasure.
Really
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
it, man. What a great way to celebrate Eid as well. Thank you
Yes.
very much. The keyword once again is treat. SMS that to 33728. I've had my breakfast, so I think I can dig
Time
into
for
this
dessert.
one. I am so going for that. The whole one in one go. Treat to 33728.
Thank you.
When he's not bowling for hat tricks, he's being bowled over by a new baby boy. Catch cricketer Wayne Parnell in the Expresso studio this Friday as he takes on his new journey of fatherhood to baby Khalid.
That's because this Friday, it's all about the dads as we gear up for Father's Day.
Only on Expresso, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on SABC3.
The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, but I'm so happy I can. They say doing what you love is the reason you're alive. Oh, but I ain't stared into the sky since the day that I remember the world that breathes on lies. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. Oh, and I'm so happy I could die. I'm so happy I could die.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. The show's almost over. Time to squeeze in one last performance from the Southern Wild. You can find them at Southern Wild SA. But this kind of encapsulates how I feel about their performances today. It's I'm so happy I could die.
Thanks for having us.
All those conversations, they echo in the wind. Those times kept me blinded to what it means to be a kid. Oh, and I feel like such a fool. You see, they all went and left me and prospered from their choices. And here I am still hanging and drowning in my voice. Oh, but now I have nothing left to lose. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. They say doing what you love is the reason you're alive. Oh, but I ain't stared into the sky since the day that I remembered the world that breathes on lies. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. Do you remember staying up late and talking all the time? We lived for every moment and never saw the signs. Oh, but now things are such a mess. 'Cause every time I see you, it feels like you've never left. There's things I need to tell you, promises I never kept. Oh, but time is an illusion at its best. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. They say doing what you love is the reason you're alive. Oh, but I ain't stared into the sky since the day that I remembered the world that breathes on lies. Oh, but I'm so happy I could die. I'm so happy I could
morning show made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production. Nada. Feel Good production.